We're taking over!
Welcome once again to the Lost Art of Wrestling.
Lost Art kayfabe.
It's not kayfabe. Don't kill the kayfabe, Bunkell. Insert BWO soundbite that I purposely put in last time. We're taking over. I couldn't help put that in last time. It's too funny.
Oh no. Still Lost Art kayfabe though.
To you it is. 'Cause it's still real to you, damn it. So yeah, we're back with a WrestlePod. I guess we can call it that.
Yeah.
Something
Well,
like that.
wrestling based.
Wrestling based pod. I'm of course Coxie, joined once again by the man they call Bunkell.
Hello.
They can't see you doing that, mate.
Yeah. I know. False habit.
Following on from last month's episode, it's which is currently our third most listened.
Good bonus.
It is. You don't get paid for it though.
Yeah, I know. It's alright. It's just one step closer to it taking off. And getting our own t-shirt.
Mate, if we get enough listeners, then it's going to happen. So yeah, we talked about loads of things last time. It was like a 3-hour epic.
Yeah.
I can't even remember half the stuff. I just remember we had a 13-minute rant on education
Yeah,
the start.
At the start. Won't be doing that again this time, folks. Don't worry. No, we've just talked about the state of the business, and yeah.
Mainly the Attitude Era.
Yeah. Which is kind of where we're leading on to with this show.
Sort of. There's a few bit different this time. So we've got some set topics, and then we've got 3 matches to break down.
Yeah.
Plus the Bunkell React section even.
Yeah.
So.
I'd say. We'll start from the top.
Start from the top. Well, the first one I've got, ignoring from the very top, I've got Flair's TNA rants, but we'll come back to that later. Because the first thing you mentioned to me was CM Punk's MMA debut in UFC.
Ah. Well, for anybody who watched it, he got his arse handed to him. And I don't think even...
And for anyone who didn't watch it, he got his arse handed to him.
Yeah, that's true. But... honestly, you... like, no disrespect to CM Punk. You've got to kind of give him props for stepping up and doing that. He made $750,000. $250,000.
Not bad.
To step in to the ring. No win bonus, obviously. But the guy who beat him made $7,000. Yeah. That kind of, and there was a lot.
Is that with or without his win bonus?
That's without his win bonus. Win bonus was another $7,000 on top of that, so made $14,000, and CM Punk made $250,000 for less than 3 minutes work. Well, I wouldn't say he even did 3 minutes work.
Plus, play his Reebok sponsorship and stuff.
Yeah,
no doubt.
So yeah, there was a lot of hate on Twitter for it. A lot of people saying that, right, can we end this now then, because he's taking up like a valuable roster spot for other people, and obviously with him getting paid that much money, right. And you know there's quite a lot of real fighters who could come in and could take that spot. Yeah. You know, with him only having done 2 years worth of training and being in his mid to late 30s already.
Yeah, he's 36, I think.
And the guy who beat him, it was a golfing class, but it was a golfing class that you'd expect to see anywhere. The guy who was fighting Mickey Gall is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. I didn't realise that at the beginning. And as soon as Joe Rogan mentioned it, I knew exactly how it was going to play out.
Yeah.
Because when you're a white belt, surviving is your goal in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's what they tell you. Just survive. Hope you can survive.
Right.
Yeah, with higher grades, because they'll almost toy with you. A brown belt versus a white belt. Again, CM Punk survived. I think it was 1 or 2 submission attempts, and then got done with a third.
I think it was 1, maybe.
It might have been 1. Then.
I think he got out of it once, and then he got straight back into it, and he couldn't.
Yeah, I think that's right. And it was a rear naked choke. He escaped, and then he just took a couple more digs to the ear, which blew his ear open, and then he got choked out. But it was like on the cards, really. I don't know anybody who thought he could win. As soon as I found out the other guy was a brown belt, if he'd been fighting another white belt, then fine. Or a guy who's never done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu before, fine. But you're fighting a guy who has been training his whole life for this moment, and he's obviously a skilled Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, and you've probably done Jiu-Jitsu, twice a week for the past 2 years, and that's it?
Like that,
yeah, it's not enough. Not enough. It wasn't enough when because he couldn't, even his takedown defence, he couldn't defend the takedown.
I did read people ragging on his punches. Like saying, if he punches like that, then there's no way he's going to survive in the cage, sort of thing. And I was looking at the betting odds, and how they were changing. It was like, I think pretty much CM Punk stayed as the underdog constantly. Yeah, and it was like no matter what, I think there was only like one. I think it was like if it went to like decision or like round 3 or something. Right. Maybe Punk was like the favourite, but the rest was all Mickey Gall to. Well,
that will only have been because they will have expected. They will have been like, how the hell has he survived? And the guy must be tired. Like Homer Simpson in that episode of The Simpsons where he's a boxer.
Yeah.
They just punch him for like 12 rounds and he just taps him over. But again, personally I don't want to rag on him because he did something that a lot of people would never do. And he is right in what he says, that he was given an opportunity. What he wanted to do is he wanted to start doing like a couple of local promotions, doing small fights against other people who aren't as experienced, just like he is, and stuff like that. And then the UFC knocked on his door and said, "We'll give you X amount of money for X amount of fights." Yeah, he can't. He's right in saying that he couldn't have turned it down because he might never have got that opportunity again. If he'd gone out and lost on a local regional promotion, then he's never going to get that chance again. Like, you look at somebody like Dave Bautista, who went and had an MMA fight in a local promotion against that fat guy. And okay, he won, but he gassed out really quickly. And he's never been given the shot in anything more than that. Because you've taken away your mystique, almost. The how can I put it? This WWE wrestler might be able to do something. You've taken that away from you already. They know how you fight. They know what you're going to do, and they can see that it's not going to be a good enough quality to be on the UFC.
Yeah. There's also that thing though. If Punk did work the indie sort of thing, if you work like Elite XC or whatever there is to work, and then it loses badly, takes 6 months off, next fight, another 6 months, 3 months, whatever, then gets the UFC call. Oh, you'll be fighting for another year though. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like what happened originally.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, you see, by that time he's closing in on 40 pretty quick. Mm-hmm. He has no designs of grandeur. He has no intention of winning a title or even fighting for a title. He just wants to go and earn some money so that he can, set himself up for life, essentially. Not that I don't think he's already got enough money.
He's probably set already, yeah.
But if someone walked up to me tomorrow and said, "We'll give you 250 grand to go fight in the UFC," I'd be like, "Yeah, all right, I'll get my ass kicked." Yeah, but I'll go and fight him. I mean, I'll be able to escape a rear naked choke. But
give you a scenario. It's like, right, yeah, you're going to be fighting in Manchester tomorrow night. Yeah, but you're going on at 5 a.m. Is that okay?
Well, yeah. If somebody came and offered me $7,000, like Mickey Gall got, and said, "Oh, come and fight, I don't know, in the UFC at 5 o'clock in the morning and fight, I don't know, a guy who's 2 weight categories above you or whatever." That's nearly $4,000 to go and get my arse kicked. Yeah, fine. You've given me $4,000, and if by some miracle I win, I'm going to get another fight, aren't I? So I'm going to make another $4,000. So, I can't blame him for doing it. Anyone would do it in his situation. But yeah, he got his ass handed to him. Yeah. I don't know. It was. I'm guessing it did what it's.
I caught the very brief highlights of it, so all I saw was like goal on top of him, and he just sort of tapping. So
the highlights were essentially he basically ran out, tried to throw a punch, Mickey Gold ducked under the punch, shot the double leg, took him down, and then it was him trying to get Mickey Gold off him, and he couldn't.
Yeah,
that was it.
Right.
So it was like. I'm there, and because I was watching it. I wasn't watching it live, but I was watching it with a couple of friends who watch UFC like religiously. Because I don't watch it that often, but they don't like do fighting arts. They don't do any kind of martial arts.
Yeah.
Whereas I know at least about the ground game because I'd done the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 5 years. So I understand. I'm not saying that I could do the things that I'm telling him to do, but I'm saying that this is what you would have to do in this situation to get out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm screaming at the TV, like, do this, like, hip escape, don't give up your back. And the first thing he does is gives him his back.
Yeah.
Because he just can't, because he doesn't, in that pressure situation, he didn't know how to react to it. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't know how much Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu he'd done in his training. But if he knew the guy was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, he should have been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 5 days a week. 5 out of 7 days. And he should have been doing a 3-hour session in the morning, taking his lunch, bit of like boxing, cardio, whatever, between, I don't know, 1 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, having another small break, and then going and doing more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's what he should have been doing 5 days a week. I don't know what he was doing, but he should have just been focusing on survive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I just had the envision of tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I say you don't know. You don't see inside his camp really. You don't get. Yeah. You don't get the insight and stuff like that. But I would be very interested to know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, you only saw the highlights.
I've only seen the highlights, but like the other stuff flagging up UFC has been like you've had the Conor McGregor thing at the press conference. There's a guy, I can't remember the other guy's name. He's like, I put people down, they don't fucking move. And who the fuck is that guy?
Oh, I don't know.
And then there's like UFC, is it 206 or 207 tomorrow in Manchester?
Yeah.
But it starts at 11 PM our time.
I still may watch it.
Well, to coincide with like the actual time difference, whatever, it starts at 11, so Bisping's fighting at like 5 or 6 AM.
Jesus.
So,
to be fair, you could probably sleep through the rest of it because there isn't that many big fights on it other than that one and the Belfort-Mousasi fight anyway.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, what did you think about him stepping into there?
He could have easily not done, because I know he's done work like Marvel. He's done like a Marvel deal or something to do comic books or something for him. Like
he's like he writes them, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Some of the 4 comics.
And no doubt the money he made from WWE is probably set for life.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was talking about it on the podcast with Colt Cabana, actually, about even randomly finding checks.
Yeah.
And that he'd never cashed.
Yeah.
It was like, how much money do these guys make? Like, I know John Cena makes serious money.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't think... I thought, basically, below John Cena, it was like he made like double what the rest of everybody else made, type of thing. But, again, I don't know the ins and outs. I haven't watched Total Bellas. I don't intend to watch Total Bellas.
Well, you have your downside guarantee, which is your guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Then you have your royalties. You have your... I think you get like discount on travel. Because you travel so much. And then there's like other bits that come into it. It's like appearance fees and stuff like that.
Right, yeah. And obviously you get pay-per-view bonuses and shit.
Pay-per-view bonuses, yeah. Obviously your big one's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
because I think Jericho said in his book you get like it's like essentially like 1 year sum.
DL.
And in one book, it's WrestleMania 18. Tripp's got 250k.
Right.
Jericho got 40.
DL.
So he storms into the office. There's like JR and Vince.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't give me like as much or equal to whatever, then you can go fuck yourself. So Vince just looks down his glass at him. How much did you own? He's like, shows him the thing. He's like 40 grand. He's like, Jim, cut him a check.
Fucking hell. To be fair, it's probably a minuscule amount in compared to what they make from the pay-per-view buys and stuff anyway.
More than likely, yeah. But then you got to think like you factor in merch sold at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But then like you got like the arena rent and staff and stuff like that.
Yeah, still, I bet they make. Obviously, they make money on it. I mean, they won't keep inviting the fucking Undertaker back every single year for one night only.
Well, yeah, when you're selling t-shirts, like $30 and $40 something daft because it's a WrestleMania t-shirt.
Yeah,
I buy mine for like $3.50, you know, in a clearance sale.
But no, so can't knock him for it.
It's to me now though, is if will they let him fight again, or are they just going to go, well, no?
I don't think they're going to. But I don't think they're going to because you have they've had the change in ownership now. Mm-hmm. And though they seem to be going more towards, they seem to be focusing less on, like, fights that make sense rankings-wise. They seem to be focusing on, like, almost like big payday fights. So, like, because of Conor McGregor and the Nate Diaz fight, where McGregor got beat and then they set up so that he won again, you're almost going back towards like the old, if we're going down an MMA path, we're going down towards like the old Pride days where you used to get like 300-pound guys fighting 150-pound guys and shit like that. You're going to end up going down something like that if they continue, with these ideas. I don't think they'll let CM Punk fight again because I don't think it makes sense for them to let him fight again. I don't think it'll sell more pay-per-views. Mm-hmm. And for the amount that they're paying him, they could quite easily say, right, well, go learn your craft and come back in a couple of years' time and then have one more shot. Yeah. And he could go, and he could, I'm not saying I'm not saying it's guaranteed to make him more talented as a fighter, but it's the guys that he's in there with. You have to be a certain level to be in the UFC. Yeah, and CM Punk isn't at that level, but he's not going to be after 2 years.
Fair point. But then could you see him coming back to wrestling?
No, he's burned that bridge. He don't want to come back.
If he suddenly changed his mind, though, and he suddenly went, well, UFC won't take me.
No, I don't.
This company won't pay me enough. Bellator's not interested.
He's not going to do it. No. I don't. Like I say, he doesn't. I don't think he needs the money. I don't think that it fits into his plan. I'm guessing he has one, but the way with the amount of abuse that he gave the WWE and like. They talk about the wellness and like the doctor. Just a Z-Pack or whatever it was. Yeah. He's like, I have a staph infection. Yeah, just have one of these, it'll be fine. But no, it won't. Oh yeah, it will. And like the consistent like the hate on Triple H and on everybody. They're not. Why would they take him? He must be incredibly hard to work with.
I'm guessing possibly as a businessman, yes. But then you look at Warrior. Warrior came back after...
Yeah.
However many, 20 years, whatever. Bret Hart came back.
Yeah, but they didn't come back into a wrestling capacity, did they? They didn't come back into the main spotlight, really. It was a 1 night, 2 night only thing, really. Which, can I see him being inducted to the Hall of Fame when he finally makes peace with them? Yeah, probably. But I don't see that he's ever going to make peace with them. Unless they're going to go, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a Legends contract and
you can just sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah, sit at home and do nothing. like most of the legends do.
Yeah.
And he's going to be like, yeah, fine. Because you can still sell his merch, and then that's all that they're really fussed about.
Yeah.
But, no, that's my thoughts on Simple.
Yeah. You also wanted to discuss the Chris Benoit movie that's been announced.
I've read something about this today, actually, about how Vince McMahon is... Well, it said he's pissed off, but I'm more thinking he's panicking because he thinks that the WWE is going to be cast in a very bad light.
Right.
Because of, we know that he suffered from concussions. We know that he suffered from, like, a lot of brain injuries, essentially. Yeah. Which they haven't said led him to do what he did. Not directly. And whereas I can see the disconnect from what he did at the end of his life and the performer.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't, which is why a lot of people can't watch Chris Benoit matches.
Yeah.
And I understand that on the network they cut a lot of they cut any commentary that was praising him or any commentary that talked about him being, the crippler and stuff like that. I've not watched any of his matches on the network since. It's like, apparently, you can't search for him either, can you?
I don't know if you can now, but originally you couldn't do, no.
Yeah. But I don't think that's something that he should worry about. I think it's going to focus less on the WWE and what happened there. It's going to focus on more the pressures of travelling 300 days a year, whatever it is, on having, his family life, on his son's illness.
Yeah.
On how he dealt with that, on how his wife was dealing with that, obviously with him not being there a lot of the time. That's the way I think it will go. But I think it could be a really, really good film. And I think it's something that people do need to be aware of. They need to be aware that, concussions happen to a lot of sports people, and it can affect people in very different ways. Now, Chris Benoit was obviously a case on another level. But whether you believe that he was on steroids, which probably was, a lot of the guys in the business are, they're taking something like that anyway, they must be, or they have done in the past. Or he's... or it was, like I say, these brain injuries that caused him to do what he did. There was something not right. There was something that caused him to feel like this was the only action he could take. Yeah. I don't know what it was. It'd be very interesting to see how in depth it goes on that. I think, again, it'll talk about it, but I don't think it'll be like. I don't think it'll be focused on how the WWE caused it or anything like that.
I think you're going to see drug usage in it.
Yeah.
They're going to be like showing him taking the pill, like the pain pills, whatever, or you'll see him dabbling in bits, and you might see bits of his home life, because apparently there was trying to think of the word, problems at home, sort of thing. Probably the best word I can think of off the top of my head. Problems at home, but then he's on the road constantly, so obviously you're away from those problems, and you come back and more problems because you're away all the time. But then are they going to do the actual murder, and then, or are they just going to cut to it afterward and say, this happened, or
that's the way I think they'll do it. Either open with that, or they'll end with it, and they'll say, and it'll be like the standard thing they do, the blurry police sirens, and they'll be like, on this date, this call was made to the police, and this is what happened, and then they showed up at this house, at this address.
Because how do you really draw it out? Because it's obviously they can't just pull, because it's a factual story, they can't just pull stuff out of thin air and go, well, we thought this would fit in well, and it's...
Well, the thing is, again, this could go one way or the other, because you could end up with it being like the people talking about it, like, after the murders happened, and then people who think they knew what they were talking about but had never been involved with the business. And then the other people...
Like us.
Well, no, yeah. But I more mean like the people who just slate it for the sake of slating it.
Yeah. He's a murderer. He's a bad man.
Yeah, yeah.
But did you watch it? Well, no, but I'm entitled to my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, you are, but you can fuck off.
Yeah, but again, it's like, oh yeah, he's a murderer, he's a bad man. Yeah, but do you know why he did it? No. Do you know anything about that man's life? No. So why you've formed an opinion based on one action?
Yeah.
And though I agree, murderers should be, you should go to jail. You should do, whatever it may be. Death penalty in some states. But like I say, there must have been something to drive him to that. The other thing that it could be is that I'm kind of afraid of them doing is them consistently talking about chair shots.
Yeah.
And all they're going to go on about is unprotected chair shots and him doing the flying headbutt all the time because that was his move.
Yeah.
And, and basically just try and paper it as though, oh, well, the WWE's never done anything about it. They just allow these people to take these shots to the head and, there wasn't a proper wellness policy to deal, so that there's in American football now, there's a concussion protocol. So if a referee even notices that you might even stumble slightly or anything like that, you go to the concussion protocol. Your helmet comes off, concussion protocol. Yeah, you take a hit to the helmet, go concussion protocol, and then you get removed out of the game and go through it until they'll decide whether you are concussed or not, and then send you back. So there's a health professional there who makes that decision. And if you're not, then you're taken out of the game, and until you pass the protocols, you don't come back.
Right.
Yeah, but that's only coming recently because again, like Will Smith did a movie about it, about concussion in American football.
Yeah.
I've not seen that, but again, these are all highlighting these things that happen to people because people's careers end because of concussions. I mean, there's guys in the NFL now, like they're coming in, playing 1 year, and then just retiring because they're like 23 and they think, I've worked my whole life to play this game and to make it into the National Football League. I've got here, and then I thought, I've seen guys who get concussed, and some of them have walked away, but they're not walking away the same people.
Yeah.
And I don't want to risk that later on. But I hope that they don't just try and do that because, yeah, okay, unprotected chair shots. We both agree that you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Probably. Which is why WWE now, you don't do it. They always do a chair shot to the back, or they do that like weird gut shot thing. But it's gonna be interesting. I think it'll be good.
Isn't it sort of thing like the people that just read a headline and then made an assumption?
Yeah.
They're not going to go and watch it.
Yeah.
Based on that, it's going to be the wrestling fans that are going to go, well, I'm going to watch it out of curiosity.
Yeah.
And then they'll either walk out going, all right, yeah, I understand more now, or they'll go, well, they missed this out, they missed that out. It's like, well, you weren't there to know.
Yeah.
But I've read things online. It's like, yeah, just you stick with reading. But it's like there's as always with stuff like that, there's conspiracy theories abound and stuff, and it's
well, there's always going to be.
Yeah. But then there's things about like Kevin Sullivan and Satanism and hence the Bibles.
Oh, I don't know.
It was something about because Nancy was Kevin Sullivan's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Who, in a WCW storyline, left Kevin Sullivan for Chris Benoit, which then ended up happening during the storyline because of this storyline.
Jesus.
But then it's like, I read it on like Wikipedia and other stuff. Yeah, fuck you, quoting Wikipedia, but fuck you. It's a legit source nowadays. It's like, Kevin Sullivan's like a known Satanist, and there was rumours of like he'd been sending notorious like threatening texts to Benoit saying like, we're going to kill you and your family, or sacrifice you and your family, sort of thing.
Right.
Hence him possibly killing them first,
right,
and leaving the Bibles, or Kevin Sullivan then doing it
Right, yeah. And it being set up as though Benoit did it. That is interesting.
So
that's pretty interesting. I didn't know. You see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's something like a wild rumor because it's like the whole thing of like they said, well, he killed one of them, like Daniel or his wife first.
Yeah.
Left them for like 2 days, then killed the other one.
Yeah.
And then himself.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you leave that?
Yeah. Why would you have? Why is there that time gap?
Yeah. So,
unless his wife agreed to it.
But why would you agree to him being killed? Unless, this Satanism thing comes into it, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Well, maybe between the two of them, they agreed that, you know, they didn't want Daniel to grow up, you know, always suffering essentially because with his ailment, and so they did that, and then they thought, well, how?
But then there's other stuff saying that Daniel didn't have an ailment.
Oh, right.
Other stuff comes to light saying, oh no, he wasn't actually ill. He was like quite a thingy, but like he was quite healthy and willing and able, sort of thing.
Oh,
and
right.
Other stuff says he wasn't.
Right.
So it's.
They say I've only heard that he wasn't. So, oh well.
Without actually meeting him in person, sort of thing.
Well,
I wouldn't know. But then there's like the weird thing of like the text Chris Benoit sent to like Chavo and that.
Yeah.
He no-showed the event.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a bit because one text he sent was like, "Oh, the dogs are outside" or something. Dogs are out the back.
Yeah.
And something else. It's a really weird case.
Yeah. You see, again, they're the bits that could be interesting. If you end up talking to people like Chavo and people that he was close with that he sent messages to at the time, then you might get maybe they didn't. Well, I'm guessing they didn't suspect anything. But that might be, again, a bit more interesting than, say, dragging Steve Blackman from the dead and having him talk about it. And he's wrestled him once in his career.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. He doesn't actually know. I wasn't friends with the guy, I didn't speak to the guy, but, oh, well, he's a wrestler, he knows. No, he doesn't. So.
But then, it's like no one ever said, like, he was showing signs of odd behaviour or anything. Considering, like, he had, like, the brain of, like, an 80-year-old Alzheimer's patient.
Yeah.
Like, he was never showing signs of...
Again, but it's these things that people keep stuff like that hidden, or they genuinely don't know. But this is caused by the concussions.
Just the rabbits in the background, people.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for them to like announce who's going to be cast as Chris Benoit, just so everyone can go, no!
Well, it'd be interesting to see if they use an actor or if they use a wrestler.
Yeah.
Because I think you need a wrestler, but I bet they use an actor.
Well, more than likely use an actor. Depends if they're going to show actually any actual wrestling content, if it's going to be all out of the ring.
Yeah. Get Marky Mark to do it.
Put a mullet on him.
Yeah.
That's the walk around everywhere, the Four Horsemen theme. Just like that, constant with 4 fingers up. Just strolling about.
You'll fucking freak out if it is Marky Mark now, though.
Could Marky Mark kill someone?
No, but I just mean that, it's a great piece of foreshadowing.
Oh. You heard it here first. Evil Bunkell.
I'm not evil. Just saying you heard it here first, folks.
That was the Evil Bunkell segment. No, there's no date for it yet. I don't think they've announced a director, which is a woman or something. But
oh, I don't know. I saw the post earlier that Vince McMahon's pissed off, but
yeah.
I don't think they'll portray it as. I think what he's panicking about, I'm hoping they won't do.
Yeah.
So you've got to wait and see.
Yeah, but no doubt he'll have the lawyers on speed dial already.
Oh yeah, of course he will. Of course he will. Don't go to where Vince McMahon is without having some lawyers on speed dial. Sue your ass.
That's what I mean. Surely, I'm guessing, like with the wrestler, he'll get a private screening, and either he'll go, well, yes or no. Because he originally hated the idea of the wrestler as a film at first. He got a private screen of it. He's like, "Yeah, it's very well done," and it's like, because he thought it was going to sort of show like wrestling in a bad light and show, because it's sort of, it takes bits from the Jake the Snake story from Beyond the Mat.
Yeah.
And he thought that was going to play into it, and it was going to show, well, this is what all wrestling is like.
Right, okay.
But it shows the sort of the indie side, even though it's Randy the Ram was once in the big time. Wrestling at the Garden sort of thing.
Well, again, The Wrestler's a very good movie. I didn't realise that Vince got a private screening of it, but I didn't realise that Vince apparently is the king of wrestling, and if you want to bring out something with wrestling in the name of it, he has to see it first. He has to preview your shit. I'm Vince McMahon, damn it. Well,
he was like,
I can't sneeze.
It was after the film came out, I think, 'cause he was like boycotting it originally.
Yeah.
And then Darren Aronofsky was like, well, if you want a private screening,
yeah, you can see it.
Yeah. So I think it was like Darren, Vince and Stephanie watched it. And he like said to him afterwards, "Oh, thanks for showing me that. It's a very, very good film, very well done." It's like the fact you didn't show it in like show WWF or WWE in a negative light or anything like that. And it's obviously I've come to understand now that you're looking at the independent side of wrestling rather than the mainstream side of wrestling.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, yeah, it made sense.
For the one lone film on Vince's TV, you can't watch it.
No, the rest of it is just like John Cena shower shots, isn't it? And this was when we called him up to Smackdown in the shower. And this is when he became the Marine in the shower.
Oh dear. You have some weird thoughts about Vince McMahon.
I just think Vince McMahon's a very weird person.
I'll go on to the next touch bit, but on Vinnie Mac, I was reading something today, and it's like JR or something was talking about it. It was like an Opie and Anthony or something, like a radio show in America. They want to talk a trip to Iraq on this plane, like a massive like cargo plane.
Right.
But there's like loads of open space, but there's like everyone sort of crashed out and stuff. Vince is military crawling behind crates and stuff, with a big bag of like sweets on his arm, throwing sweets at people. In a 65-year-old man at this point, just throwing sweets at people.
It's like one of the stories that I can't remember. I heard it on a podcast or I read it. Is that he was on a plane like with all the guys and whatnot. And Kurt Angle's on this plane, and every time Kurt Angle got out of his seat to try and walk down the aisle, Vince McMahon made it his mission to try and take him down. So there's this random old dude trying to attack Kurt Angle every time he gets out of his seat because he's convinced that he can take him down. I can take down an amateur wrestler. What?
But then there's also one that was I think CM Punk was telling it. Where he's like, said they're in Iraq and they've all got these like bunk beds.
Yeah.
There's like the sergeant has a double, but then there's like there's JBL and Punk,
right?
Like Big Show or Edge and Taker on like top and bottom.
Yeah.
Then Vinnie Mac was on the bottom bunk
by
himself, but he moved on the top bunk for some reason.
Right.
And they said, they're all there chatting, everyone's like casually drifting off to sleep.
Yeah.
And I said, all of a sudden I just hear like these random followed by Vince just pissing himself off. And Vince is there apparently just dropping farts all night.
Oh Christ.
So, yeah, it's strange what a 72-year-old man gets up to now, whatever he is now.
Yeah, he's 72.
71, 72.
Jesus.
So
no wonder he's handed the reins over.
We still has final say.
Yeah. Yeah, but he doesn't have to sit there and watch every show and be it. Well, I bet he is at every show still.
Yeah. I wrote down upcoming content and I forgot why.
Upcoming content?
Yeah. Just in general, what stuff we're going to cover. Oh, we covered that on the last episode, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Leaning towards, like, certain matches, anything anybody wants us to watch. And we're going to do WrestleMania 17 and WrestleMania 18.
Yes.
That'll be two shows. That'll be two shows. There. And then breaking some ECW stuff, maybe.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, I remember now.
Just an idea.
I have to do a vote for the what show.
Yeah.
Or something like people pick shows, and we pick shows, and then we vote on the one we want to do.
Yeah, no, but like you could do, like, I'm not saying that you have to do it. We have to do things chronologically. We just do, a show here and there that we're interested in watching.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's going to be things like that. If you do want us to do a specific match, if you have a link for it, just send it to us. Someone tried calling me. I don't know who. Did you call me?
No.
Bugger. Could be a job interview. I sneeze, damn it. So yeah, anything you want us to cover, anything you want to talk about, whether it's a topic, a wrestler that we know of, don't be sending us bloody Japanese. Talk about this guy. We know nothing about him. Here's Wikipedia.
Poke of Doom match. Why they should redo the Poke of Doom.
I started watching 1998 pay-per-views for some reason from WCW. Because around the time my brother was getting the WCW magazine.
Oh, right,
he was a news agent in Blackpool that sold it was the only place in Blackpool that sold it. And the first one he got had the results for Fall Brawl 98 in.
Right.
Which is that when I think the Warrior came first into it. And so I've been watching sort of through 1998, and it's just god awful. It's like from the point I noticed when Goldberg is champ, he headlines all of 2 pay-per-views.
Yeah, but that's because you have to put Hogan in the main event.
Yeah, which they were doing.
I'm not shocked.
And I'm coming on like 1999, but it's where Tori Wilson first comes into it.
Yeah, boy. Though she is like the kiss of death to your wrestling career.
Well, yeah, David Flair was involved in the match, and this is where he turns on Rick.
Right.
And then I'm currently up to the barbed wire cage match, first blood cage match.
That sounds horrific.
It's Hogan Flair, and if Flair is currently like the president of WCW, and if he wins, he'll become president for life. But if Hogan wins, he gets a title as well, but if Hogan wins, he has to leave WCW forever.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which doesn't give the result away from the start.
Yeah.
But it's also the infamous match where it appears on Botchamania where Rick says to David, he's like, I'll kill you cunt!
Ric Flair was in the news the other day, actually.
So he took Halle Berry to Space Mountain, apparently.
Yeah, had sex with Halle Berry.
Of course, Halle Berry denies it and said she doesn't even know who he is.
Yeah. Which, to me, makes it sound like she definitely did it.
That's me, though.
To deny it so vehemently.
But it makes it sound like... Because it was on Flair's pod, so I'm just sort of see Flair sat there in, like, cashmere sweater, suit jacket on, porky pig in it. Just, Hall of Fame ring on each finger for some reason. Because he bought two plastic ones on eBay. Just there tapping his fingers. Just going... Halle Berry. I took her to Space Mountain. Interview Ryback going, thanks, brother.
Oh dear, he's a legend, absolute legend.
For this, I was watching the start of the Hogan Flair cage match.
Yeah,
and it's one of them things that people always like back in the day, like people always dispute, like who's better, Hogan or Flair? And it's like, well,
it's not even a contest.
Well, yeah, but it's like people like if you said one or the other, it'd be like, well, all right, what about in terms of like technicality? Well, Flair. What in terms of actually personality? Well, Hogan. But then again, Flair.
Flair's by far the better wrestler.
Yeah.
He was just round at the wrong time.
He was around the right time, actually, because it was originally WrestleMania 8's main event, which was Hogan... No, it was Savage Flair. Mm-hmm. It was meant to be Hogan Flair.
Oh, right.
So.
Well, no, I'm all mean as in... The problem that Ric Flair has always got is he doesn't look the part. And then you think, about how Hogan looked, especially while he was on the juice. That was what Vince thought people were going for.
Yeah.
And then obviously they brought Flair in, and it was it seemed like a really good program. At least it did to me anyway. And with him going from all the way through the Rumble and then winning the belt and whatnot, it's been good. But again, that ended up in a bit of a botch because they did Sid Vicious eliminated Hogan, and then Hogan drags him out from the outside, which is a heel thing. Yeah. He did get booed on the pay-per-view, by the way. It's just WWE.
Is it when he pulls him out from under the rope and they still count it?
Yeah. Yeah. But there's a heel thing to do.
Yeah.
To drag out the guy who eliminated you and expect people to cheer you. Fucking dumbass. And then Sid Vicious, of course, demanded more money and then left because he didn't get it. So then you lost the whole Vicious Hogan thing that they were planning on doing.
Was that not... What year was that? Because where they had the WrestleMania match where he kicks out the leg drop and he wasn't meant to. Because Papa Shango was late when he's running.
Oh no, that might have been after. Is this the Rumble after that? Can't remember.
But it was one of the main years. It was 7 or 8, I think. No,
right.
7 was Slaughter. So it could have been...
It must have been 8 then.
It was 8 or 10.
Must have been 8.
Because he had that, there's like a 10-mile long ramp.
Yeah.
But then you have to like run down it, then turn.
Right.
No idea why. And it's, you see sort of Shango doing his little jaunt, like his little waddle down the ring, and then it's like the best one at WrestleMania 6 when Warrior sprints down like the 10-mile long entrance and has to turn.
Yeah.
Also step up onto the actual mat somehow without stopping.
Yeah.
It's like, here comes Warrior, 2 million miles an hour. Oh, he's got a turn as well. So. But no, it's, he wasn't meant to kick out the leg drop. Shango was late, so he had to kick out of it, which got him loads of heat. He's like, well, what was I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And that's when that Warrior came back.
Right.
So, yeah. That's just my little job on Hogan. So, next thing I've wrote down, I don't have notes by the way. This is all, I just use Bunkell's table. But I've got my Bunkell Reacts section.
All right.
If you've got your notes ready.
I've got my notes. Yeah.
So, listen to the last episode. I set Bunkell a challenge of watching a couple of matches.
Yep.
One was a match from Chikara, which is a show Bunkell didn't realise after watching it that I actually attended. From Manchester in May this year, which was Johnny Kidd and Mike Quackenbush in a World of Sport Rules match. And the other one is Will Ospreay and Ricochet from New Japan in, I think, the Best of Super Juniors, whatever it's called. So,
yeah.
Which one do you want to cover first? Which you got ready first?
I've got my notes on the same page.
All right.
For these because I didn't do play-by-play notes.
Yeah.
I wanted to try and capture my reaction after watching the matches.
Mm-hmm.
So, being as well prepared as I am, I watched them this morning.
I watched Hedge and Eddie Guerrero about 10 minutes before I set off.
The Mike Quackenbush Johnny Kidd match.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the reasons that I really like this match, because
it's my first time hearing the reaction, by the way, folks. So I don't know what he's going to say yet.
Like, as we said in the last show, I love technical wrestling, and I love like that mat-based grounded style, and like back in my day, it was made popular by like Kurt Angle because that's what we used to have mainstream. We used to be able to watch.
Yeah.
Though this match is very, very different to anything that you'd see like that.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that stood out to me was how few actual bumps there were.
Right.
Which I really appreciated. It was weird. It was weird how, like, because the psychology was there, because it was like Johnny Kidd's always one step ahead of where Quackenbush is. For the first 7 rounds, really.
Mm-hmm.
No, 6, 7 rounds. He's always like one step ahead, so like he'll I don't know, he'll lock him up in some kind of head scissors or something like that on the ground. And Quackenbush will do perfect reversal, get out of it, but then he's already back in it by the time he's got out of it. And then he has to get out, and then he gets out, and then he has to get out of it again. And it's like, it was like, I actually wrote down, it was just beautiful reversals and transitions in a search for leverage. That's how I could describe it. Because there was no, we're just going to go to a high spot. There was no high spots.
Yeah.
I can't remember there being a suplex. There wasn't a suplex.
No, there wasn't.
The closest thing you got was a snapmare takedown. Which, again, like, both men were... It's not even like they were just focusing on one body part. It was, I'm going to do this move to try and set up this, like, submission to try and wear you down, so to speak. Yeah. And then there was no jumping around or anything like that. It was all... It was... I want to say it was a slow pace, but it wasn't, because you were never sat in a rest hold. Yeah. It never seemed like they were taking a rest. It was okay, all right, well, he's got this wrist lock on him. How's he going to get out of it? Yeah. And it was, take a couple of seconds, does the reversal to get out of it, but then gets put back into it. Yeah. Or does reversal to get out of it, and then like the break or whatever. And like the pinfalls, all the pinfalls were, this guy has leverage, but then that leverage has been used against him, so the other guy can escape. Yeah. And then the pinfalls they go backwards and forwards trying to get a pinfall, and then one guy suddenly gets more leverage than the other and gets a pinfall. Yeah. So it ended one apiece. Like, each guy got a pinfall. Johnny Kids was in round 6, and Quackenbush was in round 7.
Something like that,
I believe. And then in the final round, nobody got one. If I remember correctly. It was so unusual to somebody who's grown up watching WWE, and somebody who's grown up like even nowadays, like the main exposure that you'll get is WWE wrestling. It was like I did really enjoy it, because it was really smart, like
well told story.
Yeah, that's it. It was a well told story. It was the old, well, there was both veterans essentially, but it was the older guy having his last match, and then the guy who's come out of retirement because he thinks he's better than you, and thinks that he can prove that in your domain.
Well, did you watch the lead up promo to it where Mike accepted the challenge?
No. No, I haven't seen it. No.
Because I think if you watch that and then watch the match again, you'll like it even more.
Right.
And it's sort of, Mike comes out, he's in his suit, it's like a show in America, and he's like, we were in Germany, we were having like cups of tea, something that was distinctly British.
Yeah.
And they were chatting because they've been friends, like Johnny Kidd appeared in Chicago in like 2011.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And he's like, I heard you were retiring and you challenged me to like your final match sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, with my bad leg and stuff, I don't know if there's any way I could like finger it.
Don't know if you could actually wrestle a match, though.
Yeah. But he's like, sort of, the only way I could do it is if like we did I accept your challenge over but it's going to be a World of Sport rules, 8 3-minute rounds, 2 submissions, 2 pinfalls or a knockout sort of thing. And it's like, chills watching it.
Yeah.
And then to actually be there for the match as well. It's like, this is amazing.
Yeah. But no, I say I really enjoyed it, and it was, like I say, it was. You won't see it in the mainstream, I don't think. I don't think they'd have the balls to do a match like that. And
the problem is, if it's nowadays, it wouldn't. If you had a show solely of match style, it wouldn't.
Oh no!
You'd get the dedicated fans because they had something similar. They had to show a one-off show in Liverpool, which was a cross between World of Sport and MMA in a way.
Right.
But did about 100, 200 people, but you had a lot of fans there who were there thinking it's going to be a standard show, and it's like you got Jack Gallagher turn up in his gi, his BJJ gi, and he's doing like takedowns because there's like no pinfalls, or he's like submissions or knockouts,
right,
sort of thing.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely something that's not for everybody. I don't think it's mainstream enough for again, WWE to do something like that, or any company to do something like that. But on, like, in your indie shows and stuff, that's where you have your proper wrestling fans and the people who can appreciate this kind of thing. Like I say, I really appreciated the whole of not taking bumps.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, that match told a brilliant story, even though I didn't see the build-up to it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have to see somebody do a crazy, you know, 950 splash off the top rope through a table onto a chair or something daft like that. I didn't have to see, you know, some guy literally try and kill himself by jumping off a 20-foot ladder.
Yeah.
Do I find those things entertaining? Yeah, but I don't need it.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it's like a different, it is, like I say, it's a different style and it's a different audience it caters to. Mm-hmm. But they say I loved it. I'm glad you asked me to watch it.
I'll throw the audio in of the actual promo and I'll show you it later, just so you can see it. But it's just the way, like, you watch that or even listen to when he does like the Art of Pro Wrestling. Yeah, it's that same thing. Is like how good on the mic and how good a storyteller Mike Quackenbush is.
How passionate he is.
Yeah, and it's just
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
I want to tell you a story with very distinct punctuation. This Wednesday, April 6th, marks the 3-year anniversary of the Shoulder of Palace. The Shoulder of Palace is an event where, unfortunately, I obliterated my right leg. It was a few minutes deep into a match, and I had an unfortunate collision with a metal guardrail on that particular afternoon. A few seconds after it happened, I attempted to stand up, and I fell over. My leg gave out underneath me. In that moment, what I wanted to do was curl up on a gurney and be whisked away to an emergency room. Instead, I dragged myself up onto my feet. I stood beside the man who, in 1991, inspired me to become a professional wrestler in the first place, Jushin Liger. And and for the following 12 and a half minutes, I wrestled my heart out. When I got backstage and I took off my brave face, I made the ill-advised move of loosening the tension straps on my neoprene brace, and I undid the laces on my kick pad and removed them. And I watched as my leg came undone on the floor of the Meadowlands Expo Center. And that is the punctuation mark at the end of my story. 2 Sundays ago, I got off a flight from North Carolina, just down 95, at Philadelphia International Airport. And when I turned my phone back on, it started to buzz and rattle, buzz and rattle. And I was getting text messages that said things like, "Hey, have you been online? Have you seen this video? He's calling you out." So I went to Chikara's Facebook page, and there was this video. And a few seconds into it, knowing who was responsible for posting it, someone who happens to be backstage at this moment, I thought, this is probably a prank. But by the time it was over, I knew it was not a prank. The video in question was sent to us by Mr. Smooth Johnny Kidd. He is certainly worthy of your applause. Johnny Kidd is a wrestler of legendary stature. And in this video, he proclaims that next month, in May, he will hang it up. He will leave the squared circle for the final time and retire from professional wrestling. And when John retires, a really wonderful and important part of professional wrestling history will go with him. Because John is the last of the original active practitioners of the clean, classy, and clever style of British wrestling that I not only love, but that I played some very small role in helping repopularize a decade ago. And when I watched this video, I'm telling you very plainly, I was moved. Moved right now thinking about it. I felt humbled. I felt honored that this man that I admire and that I emulate, on the day that he will walk away,
He's asked for me to face him. And if it were that simple, if warm sentiment and well wishes were all it took for that to happen, I would not need to be here explaining this to you now. But that is not the end of the story. It is not. I had the chance to befriend John at the Tag World Grand Prix 2008 in Oberhausen, Germany, and across a few shared cups of tea in a meeting that was rather charming and somewhat proper and inherently English, we became good friends, and we've remained so to this day, friendly rivals. When I reflect on the shoulder of Palace, it gives me a sense of closure, of finality. Because on that day, I felt like I came full circle. I stood with the man who inspired me to undertake the journey in the first place, and that felt fitting to me. And it puts me in a headspace where I can be comfortable, accepting that my body is no longer capable of delivering the kind of matches that people expect when Mike Quackenbush is in the ring. I want that for Johnny Kidd. I want him to have that finality, the closure, so that he can be comfortable when he walks away, knowing that he made the right choice and be content in that. I want that for my rival. I want that for my friend. And you can imagine what that must have felt like to be me, watching this video, calling for you to join him on that fateful day. Unlikely as it seems, asking for Mike Quackenbush to come and do it. And perhaps that should be the end of the story. Yesterday I went to see my doctor for the first head-to-toe physical exam I've had in I couldn't tell you how long. And unlikely as it seems, he has cleared me to wrestle one more match. I take my responsibilities as the director of Fun Chikara very seriously. And it represents an obvious conflict of interest for someone in the directorship to also function as in-ring talent. So, unlikely as it seems, I will step aside as director of Fun for one day only. And my old friend Bryce Remsburg will function as interim director of Fun. I want to be clear that this match we are discussing, it is not about title contention, it is not about points, nor will there be any on the line. The match we are talking about is to honor a man that I hold in the highest of regard, with high esteem, a wrestler of the very finest caliber. We will honor him on the day that he chooses to walk away. And when you set foot in that ring, John, it will not be a suit and tie meeting you on that afternoon. When you set foot in that ring, it will not be the director of Fun staring you down. When you set foot in that ring in Manchester, England, you will face the master of 1,000 holds. John, you have a date with destiny. May 28th, 2016 is the date, in a manner of your choosing. It will be World of Sport rules. It will be contested across 8 rounds of 3 minutes apiece. 2 falls, 2 submissions, or a knockout. To decide the winner, Johnny Kidd, Mr. Smooth. Let's settle this forever.
But there's like the things that like watching that match, because I've seen the advertisers at World of Sport Rules at Piece of View once. It was Keith Meyer and Johnny Kidd. It wasn't World of Sport Rules, but they did the same technical style.
Right.
And he did it with Noam Dar as well. The following show, where just standard match, but there's a lot of technical. But at Piece of View, the crowd, there's always people constantly talking, going to the bar.
Yeah.
Kids there, so kids are talking. But Chikara, the whole crowd was silent.
Yeah.
Just watching in awe of this match. And that's partially what made it in a way.
Yeah.
Because everyone's sort of quiet and paying attention.
Yeah.
Rather than just sort of, I'm going to go to the bar in a minute, see you later, sort of thing.
Yeah. Like I say, it's the environment that they created for it.
Yeah.
As well, like you say, PCW, it's in a nightclub.
Yeah.
So you are going to go to the bar. They do try and advertise for kids, and a match like that, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine getting either of my two kids to sit for a match like that. I couldn't imagine getting to sit for a wrestling match, but just because they have the attention spans at gnats. But it's I say I really enjoyed it. Look forward to hearing that promo now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, also there's things in it for me though, like sort of it solidifies your kind of way, like there's something for everyone. There's because you have like matches like there's the Hermit Crab in one match.
Oh
then you
God, yeah.
But you have like the tag team match, and like at the time the champion was a woman.
Right.
She was like the grand champion sort of thing.
Oh,
But
I don't know. I was going to ask how it works because I know they have to get 3 wins.
You have to get 3 points, yeah.
You have to get 3 points to be able to go for a match to have a title match, but obviously not everybody who gets 3 wins in a row can get a title match. So surely they can lose those points.
I'm not really sure. I need to look into it myself.
Right. No, I was just wondering because I was watching it and that snake dude, Fibian or whatever he's called.
Fibian, yeah.
That guy, yeah, picked up his 3rd win. But the commentators were saying that he's got another match next week, so he could lose those points.
Right.
But I don't understand how he can lose the points if he's got 3 points. Surely he should have a title match next week. But apparently not. I was like, okay. And why does the commentator sound like Patton Oswalt? But there we go.
No, but there was things in the match as well for me, like the little comedy bits, like you used to have in the old World of Sport. There's like I think Mike had like Johnny Kidd and something. All of a sudden, it's like you see his hand come up. He's like, "Oh, what's the birdie? Got you."
Yeah,
headlock sort of thing, or there's like, "Oh, wash my hand here." Oh no, it's over here now.
Yeah. Well, like one of my favourite spots was it was kind of like a leg scissors, and Johnny Kidd basically it's controlling Mike Quackenbush's posture with it. Is he stood like he's got his legs almost like in a scissors around Mike Quackenbush's legs, and he's keeps trying to tip him one way or the other, and he knocks him over. Yeah, and they get back, and there's a bit like a scramble, and he gets back up. And then Mike Quackenbush tries to do the same thing to Johnny Kidd, and he just steps out of it. And I was just like, wow, that is awesome.
I was going to get onto that bit in a second, actually. But there's the other bit. One of the bits that stood out for me was Johnny Kidd gets the first fall in like round 6.
Yeah.
But it's because like they're doing reversal, leverage, pin, and then you see him tapping his head like, see, got one on you.
Yeah.
But then Mike Quackenbush does it back to him.
Yeah.
Again, he's like, see?
Yeah. It's like a classic show of respect, really. I mean, like the handshaking before each round starts and after each round and stuff. You know, again, it's something that you don't really see nowadays, and it's something that I think is kind of lost. Even when you get face versus face matches, you don't get that kind of, actually, you did well type thing. Yeah. You might get the odd one at the end of a pay-per-view where John Cena goes and raises somebody else's hand. Yeah. Or they bring the Rock back to try and get Roman Reigns over, and it doesn't work.
But no, there was that same bit on they did a piece to do with Noam Dar. They get some leg scissors, and then Johnny Kidd goes, "I'll show you how I get out of this one." And he does whoop, 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 and then just walks out of it. I was pissing myself.
So I'm starting to think I might have to go watch some more Johnny Kidd matches, really, so I can see more of this style.
You can pretty much Google you can probably just Google World of Sport and you'll find stuff with Lord Steven Regal. Yeah. You'll find Dave Finlay. You'll see there's one old match which I think William Regal said it's one of his favourites is a guy called Cat Weasel. But it's like a comedy thing, but he's like you see where Madman Manson some of his sort of style from. And there's like I think Les Thornton, like Mick McManus, Giant Haystacks, Big Daddy. So Yeah, it's old ground footage, but you can find it out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, folks, check out Chikara.
Yeah. And the next match...
Different.
Yeah. The next match I got told to watch...
Completely the opposite.
Yeah. Was between Ricochet and... Is it Mike Ospreay?
Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay. There you go. Yeah. The first word I wrote down was flip-de-doos. There's a lot of flip-de-doos going on.
Flip-de-doo, bro!
Yeah. But I will say something that's probably going to shock you now. I thought the match was very similar. Not in terms of style,
Right.
but in terms of the story it was trying to tell. It was one guy doing a bunch of moves and then it getting reversed. It was. But because these aren't two technical wrestlers, so to speak, it was two, well, what seemed to be relatively high flyers going one for one, or anytime they did actually almost come together in what you know, like one of them trying to set up a suplex or trying to set up his finisher, and he was being countered into something else.
Yeah.
Right, so this is what I mean by it's very similar. I don't mean it's very similar in that it was, just the technical ground game
Technical
or anything like that,
masterclass.
because it was not. It wasn't a technical masterclass. High spot masterclass, fine, lots of them. There's flip-de-doos out the ring, there's flip-de-doos in the ring. It ends with a flip-de-doo type thing. It's like a springboard RKO, I think it ended with.
Like that.
There was failed flip-de-doos. There was a lot of swearing, which I didn't enjoy. Someone kicked me, so I call him a motherfucker. He kicks me again, so I call him a fucking prick. And I'm like, okay, maybe you would, but is it necessary? It's a kick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought some of that was definitely not necessary.
It's like, whack. Ow, you prick.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, pretty much. That's how I felt about it. They were both really over.
They were. They're
which
both well known in Japan.
Yeah, which is like, you see, I expected a Japanese crowd to be, well, how I expect Japanese crowds to be, which is to sit in silence and watch.
Yeah.
Because in everything else I've watched, like when the wrestling channel used to exist and it used to show Japanese wrestling on it, they sit in silence. And they
sit in
watch,
silence
and then they go,
they applaud a spot.
yeah,
Like,
or they go, oh,
yeah,
like one of the really big spots, and then they'll cheer at the end when the match is over. So I expected it to be like that. The crowd wasn't like that. The crowd was like the crowd here. It was going mental the whole time, which, for all the, that's kind of like the point of all the flips and whatnot. Flip-de-doos. Yeah, but I still enjoyed it. Again, it's not my cup of tea, so to speak, but I've always maintained that I could appreciate the athleticism that's required to do some of the things that these guys do.
Yeah.
And to have the balls to do some of it as well. Like, I don't actually know what either of the guys' finishes were. It actually is. I don't even know if it ended with their finishes.
Well, Ospreay is that cut or springboard.
Right.
Cut, I think Ricochet uses like a 630 or something.
Right. Okay. That will be the one that he missed. Because at one point I thought it was the Northern Lights into a suplex into a. What does he do with the third bit? He does it anyway. He tries to do it once and gets stunned for his troubles, and then he does it the second time when he tries to do it. Which is probably one of the most entertaining parts of the match, actually, because he does a Northern Lights suplex, which, nice move, quite like Northern Lights suplex. Then he picks him up as a suplex, so it's like the Three Amigos, but he's doing three different moves. And then I can't remember what the last one was, but I'd say it was a totally different. It was a totally different match, totally different style of match, but telling a very similar story. There was a lot of running around. Obviously, got to run to do your flips. There wasn't the beginning. They do the reversal bit.
Yeah.
The very opening sequence is one guy goes for one hold, another guy goes for a different hold, and they flip. But rather than it being like a technical, I'll think of a way to get out of it and I'll get out of it, it was, I'm going to flip out of it.
Yeah.
And it was, every reversal he did was a guy's done like a flip to get out. And I was just like, you could have done that with like spending so much less energy. It wouldn't have looked as cool, but you wouldn't be tired neither.
That's the thing for me. It's like the I think they just sort of, there's a bit where it's like they're staring at each other.
Yeah.
And they got to run the ropes.
Yeah.
And they end up like both flipping, and then like one in the middle of the ring, and then they both do another flip. And
Yeah.
It's like, what was the point of that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the point. The one of the points.
It's
Both
like
stare at
well-done
each other.
choreography.
Yeah. And then they run to opposite ropes, do like a handspring.
Yeah.
And then flip over after the handspring and landing again, staring at each other. And it was like, why did you copy each other?
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense whatsoever. It would have made more sense if one of them had stopped doing the flip-de-doo bit and then kicked the other guy as he was doing it. That would have made a lot of sense. But no.
There's not. I think it's this match I was watching. There's one where like I think Ospreay goes for like a Frankenstein or something, and Ricochet just sort of flips out of it and just like walks off.
Yeah. Yeah, lands on his feet and walks
it's
away.
Like, it's quite impressive, but it's like both like I think Steve Austin, I think Vince Russo and Vader all like put down like, yeah, it's really good. Well, Vader not so much, but
yeah,
it's like, but Vince Russo was like, well, it's not wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's because it's not. There's no... The amount of actual wrestling that takes place in that match, there isn't a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of springboards and...
Flip-de-doos.
Flip-de-doos jumping around. Which isn't... You don't expect to see in wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, okay, certain... You know, like, they call... You'd probably go as far as calling these two guys high flyers nowadays. But a high flyer to me was... Jeff Hardy, who did one move off the top rope every match, and they called him a high flyer because his finishing move was a swanton.
Yeah,
he didn't have to do everything off the top rope. He didn't have to do everything jumping around. Part of the reason why I hated Rey Mysterio was because, apart from the fact that he was shit at storytelling and he got the Eddie Guerrero death push, which was totally stupid. Since they were feuding, but nevertheless, you know, they all, called him a high flyer and talked about all like his fantastic moves.
Yeah.
I don't think he did anything that was fucking special. And the move that he did off the top rope, he fell. He just fell.
Yeah.
Didn't do a flip or anything. He just fell with his fat belly. So, but no,
that was like the incarnation of like the third or fourth thousandth West Coast pop variant.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, because he couldn't do the Frank Steiner anymore because he sucked.
He didn't do the leg drop either.
No, but yeah, I did enjoy them both. I enjoyed the Quackenbush Kid match more because it's more my style. I agree that I don't think the Ricochet Ospreay match is wrestling.
Yeah.
Because it's not what I know as wrestling. I understand why people enjoy it. I understand the athletic prowess it must take to do those things. They must be in proper peak physical condition to do some of that shit that they do and be athletic as hell. But it's not... Yeah, it's just not wrestling. The story you were telling was the same story as the Johnny Kid Mac Quackenbush match, essentially.
Yeah.
But it isn't told as well as that. And like I say, there was bits that were just unnecessary.
Yeah.
It wasn't required. Well, no, what did you think?
I obviously loved the Quackenbush Kid match. Or Kid and Bush then. But otherwise I wouldn't have passed it on. But again, then I was like there in person for it. Because like Johnny Kidd came out to Dire Straits' Walk of Life, which sort of helps it as well.
Yeah,
So, like, mentioning Johnny and lyrics, I was like, listening back to it, I was like, mentions Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that match. I think I was, because as soon as he announced it, I was like, oh, is it the Manchester show? I was like, I'm going to that one. Even better. Yeah, it's like I watched Ospreay Ricochet. I was like, well, they best pay attention properly for a start. But it's like fine, yeah, they're starting technical, and it's like, I know there's going to be high flying bits and stuff, but then for them to do that whole bit, it's like just staring each other going, right, handspring, flip, another flip. Oh, look at what we've just done together in sync. Like, so, like, where do you go from that now?
Yeah.
It's like, we know you know each other, we know your mates and stuff, but you've just done a flippy-do. Now you've got to try and wrestle each other.
Yeah.
Just...
It wasn't quite there.
Wasn't my cup of tea.
No, because they didn't really wrestle.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
There was...
Flip-de-doo, bro!
Yeah.
Flip-de-doo! Brian Quinn stood there in Japan just going, flip-de-doo, bro! Come on, you know me! Flip-de-doo!
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. At least check out Chikara.
We can't recommend the Ricochet Ospreay match.
No.
If you like seeing people flip, then go watch it. If you want to watch wrestling, don't.
Yeah. Then I've then wrote down Edge, but I don't know if we can come back to Edge later because we've got the Edge match to do.
We'll come back to Edge after the matches.
That's alright then. One of the topics we covered last time, which proved quite popular, was when we were talking about tag team longevity.
Right.
I can't remember who
We were talking about Team Alpha, and that we didn't want them to split them up because of Rover, and then I mentioned the world's greatest tag team in that they split them up, and then they do nothing.
They had a blow-up match on like Smackdown or main event,
yeah,
and then Charlie Haas did nothing.
Yeah, and Shelton Benjamin became everybody's bitch, including his mother's.
Greatest IC champ of all time, mate.
Yeah, he never defended it.
Exactly. But no, people, they were quite agreed with our standpoint on that.
Yeah.
Tag teams should be together for a while.
Yeah.
I think especially now that you have NXT.
Yeah.
You've got a chance to do that.
Yeah.
It's like they'll don't do what they did to the Ascension.
Well, you see, they're starting to try and build them back up again, aren't they?
I'm hoping so, but it's sort of you've shit on what you've got already, so
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I understand that. Why would you try it and do it again?
Yeah, with the same gimmick.
Yeah, yeah, but
no, it's like, because looking at it, it's like there's currently you got like Enzo and Cass, who they've known each other for 10 plus years, whatever.
Yeah,
and they've been friends for 10 plus years, and they're a tag team.
Yeah.
But no doubt they're planning to split them up at some point.
Well, I thought they were already kind of leaning towards doing that with them two anyway, just because I know Enzo got concussion or something like that. He got injured.
He had that really bad fall.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view.
And then they had
Then
they had Big Cass in like a number one contenders match for the title, and it was like, what? Where's this guy come from?
They're like Enzo on the mic,
yeah,
but he has the ability as well. Cass is good on the mic, but he still needs a bit more work. But then they're impressed, like, because he's like 7 foot and he's got the physique and he can move as well.
Yeah, he's got the stereotypical size that they look for.
Yeah, but he also has the talent and ability.
Yeah.
So, but then it's like, I sat there thinking, it's like, would Big Cass sell tickets?
Not with the name Big Cass. Well,
but it's like, would Colin Cassidy sell tickets?
Yeah, no. They'd have to rebrand him, but I say there are well, yeah. I suppose they are. Some of them are lasting a bit longer. Like you look at the New Day, and they've been going a while now, and people hate them at the beginning.
Yeah,
you know. And then the Usos, they're always going to be around.
Oh.
I can't stand them, but they're always going to be around, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, it's...
The problem is they've recently turned heel.
Oh, yeah, I
And
know.
on the last pay-per-view, I was live tweeting it for a bit. And one of the first tweets that had me stop tweeting it was, why are they wearing bin bags? It's like, you wear black because you turned heel. Fuck it, bin bag. And I nearly fell on the floor. I was laughing so hard.
Fucking bin bags. But, yeah, they suck. But again, I can see them being around for a while because nobody's going to care if they do split them up.
Yeah.
But like I noticed the Hardys are back together as well.
Yeah.
In TNA.
But it's like they're related because it's like because I was sort of more like, for me it's like you got American Alpha who are currently together.
Yeah.
You got Enzo and Cass who are together.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you look at back in the day, you had the Road Warriors, you had Public Enemy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
had like Four Horsemen to a degree, you know, it's
Yeah.
stable.
Yeah. Well, like I mean, even slightly more new age, you had the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys. That was that, and you could build everything around those three tag teams.
Yeah.
And then you had some other ones that never really took off, like Head Cheese and whatnot.
Palumbo and Gunn.
Yeah. Cool. You see, Palumbo and Gunn that worked well. You know, that was entertaining, if nothing else.
Yeah. No Age Outlaws.
Yeah. But, you know...
APA.
Yeah. Back in the day, you could do that. The problem that they have now, like, they're doing the Dusty Rhodes Classic tag team event. But from what I can see, more than half of those tag teams are just two random guys who have met, like, last week and gone, oh, you're quite good. I'm going to team with you. Even Bobby Roode's just done it.
Yeah.
Is it Ty Dillinger is his tag partner?
Something like that.
And they'll probably win it. And it's like they've literally just met. And now they're going to be like a great tag team.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. If you to me, I don't understand why it's called the Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic because I don't ever remember Dusty Rhodes being in a tag team. But again, they'll probably get to the final and face that Public Enemy team. Is it not Public Enemy? What they called? Them two really really big guys.
Authors of Pain.
That's it. Yeah, it's they wear black.
They've got the tag champs in it though as well. The Revival or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They're in it, and you've got Ciampa and Gargano in it as well. And there's like that whole because they took on the Revival at the last takeover,
right?
But they didn't win.
Right.
And there's a whole bit where like Ciampa's embracing Gargano in the ring, going, "It's like it's all right, you did well." And it's like the sort of thing. It's like could turn him heel here. It's like will they, won't they? And they didn't.
Yeah, but they might do it next
whether,
time.
Yeah, they're going to like lead to the split. But it's like again, they've been friends for 15 years and they've teamed before together.
Yeah.
But obviously not long term.
Yeah.
But it's like back then when looking like the Road Warriors, they were together for 20, 30 odd years as a tag team.
Yeah.
But it's like you watch the DVD and it's all it is squash matches.
Yeah, but because the Road Warriors can't wrestle. They never could.
Yeah, but this is like they get put against like jobber teams and stuff, and they're in like NWA or WCW, early WCW. It's like these are the bonus matches, and it's like 2-minute squash match, nothing happens, and it's like they got given a chance in like '98 against like DOA or whatever, and it was the dribbling shits.
Well, like I say, the Road Warriors are one of those teams that they put together because they can't wrestle. And you need to do something with these guys.
Yeah.
Because the gimmick was obviously over. But, again, my problem is there isn't actually... Like you say, you can name a few established tag teams, but they don't wrestle other tag teams.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's in really quick matches.
Yeah.
And there's not enough time for... Because they spend however long they've got trying to get their shit in. Because... And then it just ends up in a schmaz and a shit finish. Or one team goes over the other and it's like a squash. And it's like, okay, well, they weren't a legitimate threat then, were they?
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board. So, again, that's why you end up with the Usos in every fucking title match. Because they can sell, they can work a little bit.
Yeah.
And you might as well. You know, they seem like relatively good hands, so to speak, so they could put somebody over. They never win. There was that time when they did win. There was that time when they did win the titles, and it was just like, yeah, you weren't over before it. It's not going to put you over now. They're fucking doing the hacker on the way to the ring.
Yeah, that really helped, didn't it?
Yeah, no, because everybody hated that because it took forever.
Yeah.
It was like, you're a tag team. Move.
Get your asses to the ring.
Well, certain people can spend the time doing, coming to the ring. They've earned it.
Yeah.
They hadn't. Pretty much why everybody shit on you. But no, I'd like to see them establish some actual tag teams. Like, I don't understand why they haven't had Austin Aries team with Bobby Roode. Because they teamed in TNA.
Yeah.
And they were good.
You mean that company down south?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not saying you have to hark back to that, but I'm just saying that they've done it before, so you know they'll be good. But instead, Austin Aries has his own team of him.
And a mystery partner.
And a mystery partner, which is, I don't think there's going to be one, is what I'm guessing. I think it's just going to be him on his own. Be like the whole Shawn Michaels and God thing.
Oh, dear. No. Yeah, they have longevity. Fucking hell.
But, yeah, maybe it's just me. Like you say, like we said in the last episode, hopefully they'll invest in some of these tag teams.
Yeah.
And invest the time in them. Like, I think that the vaudevillains have already basically been turned into jobbers.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, the Ascension were turned into jobbers, but now they've decided that they want to try and rebuild them. But you've missed your opportunity already. You can't bring somebody up to the main roster, job them out, and make them a joke, and then suddenly expect us to take them as a real legitimate threat again. That takes time. Which will probably end up with more and more jobber matches, which I can't stand squash matches. It's just
And don't watch any Braun Strowman stuff currently.
I fucking hate Braun Strowman.
Apart from your boy, James Ellsworth.
James Ellsworth, yes. Boy. King of boys. To tell you what, actually, I was scrolling through Facebook the other week.
You sent me the picture.
Did I?
Yes.
You mean the one where he's got a stiffy?
No.
Oh, during the Braun Strowman match?
No, you sent me the one that was like King of Boys or something.
No, in the Braun Strowman match, he's starting to get a chub on. Somebody pointed it out.
The worst one's where the Sheik gets one with
Oh, yeah, but he's like break his back type thing.
But then they asked him in a shoot interview, it's like, why did you have a hard on? And he's like, I was excited at the thought of breaking his back.
Oh dear. But no, like you say, you would need him to invest more time in him. Again, I haven't watched WWE this week. I don't know if they had any tag team matches on this week. I know, let's say, they decided that they're going to try and rebuild the Ascension, but I don't. Again, I think that it's going to take months to make us think that they have a chance. The New Day are always going to be entertaining, and I hope they don't break them up. But again, it's something that you can see not too far down the line that they'll break them up as soon as it stops selling merch.
Yeah, but they're constantly pushing merch out with them. It's like Cena level of like pushing merch out. It's like, right, what colour of the rainbow haven't we done for them yet? It's like, right, we've got sky blue, we've got tangerine orange, we've got like lemon yellow, got lime green. Right, we need a
pink.
There's probably pink out already, yeah. But it's like, we need a mauve. It's like a mauve pair of socks or something.
The fuck is mauve?
I don't know. Some fucking shade. But no, speaking of the New Day, there's the time machine segment recently. It's just like an old fridge box. But they were trying to go back in time to do something, and they end up they went back to like 2009.
Oh God!
Kofi Kingston comes out in his Jamaican gimmick. And they're asking him where the gimmick came from, where the accent comes from. Gets dragged out. No, we're in the wrong year. Gets dragged back in the box. No, 2009 was my best year. I was pissing myself.
Oh dear.
I think that's possibly on YouTube somewhere as well.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
So, anything on that tag team longevity?
Well,
You want to
in other words, that currently there isn't any, but they have the potential to do it.
They have a couple. There's they've got the hype bros, but I can't see it lasting.
Hype Bros isn't going to last because, again, how many tag team partners has Zack Ryder had?
This comes under Edge later because he wasn't Edgehead.
Yes, he was an Edgehead, which sucked. Edgehead. But yeah, no, but again, Zack Ryder's, well, for lack of a better description, his time has come and gone. He's never going to be more over than he was when he did his YouTube show. He then tried to start doing it again and did one episode and then never did anymore. Yeah. After smashing his US title. I can only assume he was told not to do anymore.
He had his WrestleMania 32 win, which he sort of shit on the following night.
Yeah, because he got beat the following night, didn't he? So that was just pointless and stupid and annoying. So again, I don't see them lasting much longer. I don't think Mojo Rawley's got any talent or charisma or anything. I don't think he has a shot of sticking around, to be honest, unless it is in this tag team and they keep Zack Ryder around for some reason. It must be a good coach.
And then you've got like the Golden Truth, which is Goldust and R-Truth.
You see, that's been going a while. But again, Goldust and R-Truth, they're a comedy tag team, really. Yeah. And Goldust keeps tweeting that he's leaving and doing stuff like that. Sending out cryptic tweets and shit. But then again, this is Goldust.
Boy.
Goldust is not a boy.
He's your boy.
He's not my boy.
He's your boy.
He's not a boy. Goldust isn't a boy. Dark Rain. Is it Dark Rain?
7. There's 7 and Black Rain.
Black Rain, that was it. But, no. Again, they're a comedy tag team. R-Truth was actually in a good tag team with The Miz. They were ace. The Awesome Truth.
Conspiracy made him change it up.
Yeah. But,
MC Miz.
Yeah, but at least it was entertaining. Okay, they were walking down to the ring and singing your song and stuff. It's always going to be shit. But
there was some outside. That was quite funny because you just had that MC Miz looking like the most pissed off man ever.
Yeah.
Besides me, allegedly. Just going, you suck. Like,
yeah.
Right, just don't even bother wrestling. Just go away.
Well, there was one. They got thrown out. They showed up at the arena and got thrown out of the arena because they were like just basically ripping on everyone.
Yeah, that was a conspiracy. Conspiracy made him change it up.
Whatever it was. But again, Ash. They need to just stick with it. And because there's, like you say, there's a couple there that they've got the chance to do something with. I don't think the Dusty Classic is going to do what I think they think it's going to do. I think they believe that it's going to put over one of the actual tag teams that's in it, like really, put them like on like another level type thing. But at the end of the day, any tag team can beat two guys who've just decided they're tag team partners.
Yeah.
If you've been tag teaming,
it's going to be Baron Corbin and the WrestleMania Royal Rumble all over again. Well, Cesaro in the Rumble. Right? Yeah. Right, you've won. Now let's never mention it again.
Yeah. Well, that's it. But the WrestleMania Royal Rumble has never made sense because at the end of the day, whoever wins that then needs to go and challenge for something, and they never do. They might win a couple more matches, but they never do anything. Which means the trophy never meant anything in the first place. It's just a fucking gimmick match to get everybody a payday.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's not even on the fucking show now. It's on the pre-show, isn't it?
It was on the main show this year.
Oh, was it?
Because they brought Shaquille O'Neal out for it.
God.
Hold on, I'm waiting for your text that says fuck this company. Sending.
Yeah, that's definitely a fuck this company moment. Shaquille O'Neal, the man's been retired 10 years. How much of a celebrity is he now? Exactly. Fucking hell. Oh. But yeah, no.
So yeah, anything other tag team wise?
No, because like I said, I mean, like, I was watching this Chikara pay-per-view earlier, and obviously there's the tag team champs in that.
Yeah.
Is it NRG?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, they were taking on two guys who weren't a tag team. One guy was making his debut. Or at least they said he was. Hardwood Mahogany.
Oh, Rich Mahogany.
Yeah.
That's part of another storyline because he's actually Chuck Taylor.
Right.
And there's a black guy who has stolen his name of Chuck Taylor.
Right.
So he's not allowed to be called Chuck Taylor in Chikara.
Right.
So they had to keep giving him different names. He walks out, he makes his entrance, and he's like, "I need a tag team partner making his debut, Rich Mahogany." You just see him there just going, it's like, really? That's the best name you can come up with?
Right, because that Chuck Taylor guy was on later.
Yeah, singing Craig David.
Yeah. That guy was quite funny. Shit, as a wrestler, was quite funny. But no, so, I mean, again, I suppose that's where they struggle again, because you don't have established tag teams in indies, really. I can't think of many. And then they always taking on, like, a combination of two random guys.
Yeah.
So...
You've got the odd couple, but it's like, the problem with Chikara is a bit niche, because the guys that wrestle for Chikara, chances are they don't wrestle elsewhere.
Right.
There's like the Ants, and you have like there's the Pateri. They might do, but it's never, as far as I'm aware, you don't get them wrestling outside of Chikara.
Right.
You do under a different gimmick or something.
Yeah.
But you have like Los Ice Creams. You have the Ants, the Colony.
Right.
You have NRG, whatever they're called. There's the Assyrian Portal, I think they're called. So,
Well, I mean, it's not like they can just go out and say, right, I'm going to pluck this tag team from this indie and stick them in. Everybody knows who they are and just build them up. So, whereas they can do that with wrestlers, like they have done, yeah, like everybody knew who Kevin Owens was when he came in. We all knew he was Kevin Steen, so he straight away already has a built fan base.
Yeah.
Same with Sami Zayn. Everybody knew he was El Generico. Yeah, etc.
Allegedly.
etc. But there aren't tag teams that you can do that with, so you have. It's like almost like they have to try and build them from the beginning.
Yeah.
For us to get to know them, and again, because they don't spend enough time doing that, or there isn't enough established tag teams for them to go over on.
Mm-hmm.
You're less likely to buy into them, and that's why they're less likely to keep them around as long. Because if you've beaten everybody who there is, then what's left for you to do other than lose to somebody who you've already beaten? So then you'll lose to them, and then you either stay as a tag team and work your way back up and fight for the titles again, or you end up getting beat by a team that is brand new that apparently suddenly has such great chemistry from out of nowhere. Yeah. And it's like, well, I'm going to blame you, so I'm going to attack you and I'm going to go heel and you can go face. Yeah. And then nobody will care. Or as Cactus would say, the crowd will go mild.
When did I say that? I probably have actually at some point. And the crowd goes mild.
But yeah, no, again, it's something that we'd like to see them build up, because the glory days, the Edge and Christian, Dudley Boys, Hardy Boys, that like trifecta feud.
Yeah.
And because there were always, like, even when you can even add in Chuck and Billy in there, why not, when they eventually came along, that they were all that different. They could have matches, like separate matches, and still be entertaining.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, there's like 2, maybe 3 tag teams you think, all right, yeah, they're actually like legitimately good tag teams, and then there's the jobber tag teams who just get beat, and then there's the guys who they randomly pull together to face these tag teams.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, James Ellsworth and his dog versus the New Day, why not? Or versus the Ascension, because we need to build them back up, so we're going to have this jobber A and jobber B. And you're not going to get an entrance, and we're going to forget what your last name is, so we're going to call you A, and we're going to call you 2, or whatever. So, yeah.
It's like when they put... Because watching old WCW, like you see Disco Inferno and Alex Wright.
Yeah.
Which they were apparently a tag team, they always used to come out separately. But then, I keep reading on Wikipedia, they refer to as the Dancing Idiots.
But there you go. How's a tag team come out to 2 separate entrances?
Yeah.
You know, it's like when they do that stupid thing where they have like the champion and the number 1 contender face the tag team champions and they win.
Yeah.
And they always win, and then they drop the belt back to the people they beat the next week. Yeah. It's like, what was the point?
Got to remember the turn at some point. They'll win the belts a week later. Oh, the rematch clause in our contract.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, going for the tag, and it's, oh, screw you, I'm going home. See you on Sunday.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And
all you're
like,
doing is,
oh, you betrayed me. It's like, you're facing him in a week, mate.
Yeah.
Of course it was going to happen.
Well, again, the worst part about it is you just kill whatever heat the tag team had.
Yeah.
You kill whatever you've done to build them up for the sake of that. Fuck it. Like I say, I don't think breaking a tag team up has ever worked.
Yeah.
And ever got anybody over. So, when they broke the Hardy Boys up, and then Jeff went on to main event, and Matt Hardy got the Cruiserweight title, but had the best gimmick of all time.
We wonder!
I did like the Matt facts.
Yeah, but it's like, Matt doesn't like mustard. Yeah. And then it's like, I was saying before we came on, there's like the Spoonie at Magfest, the Wrestle panel from 2010. And when he turned him to TNA, he's got his like dreadlocks in. He's like, I'm eating grapes.
Yeah.
And everyone thought it was Tyler Rex.
Yeah, they did.
But the problem is, he's there like, I'm eating grapes. Turn up with a gut. Good grape gut there, mate.
A grape gut? I've never heard of one of them.
Delete!
What, no?
So, yeah. Moving on to the next one. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking. Go on.
It's chicken scratches compared to mine. There's one, because we both listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
I think I probably listen to a hell of a lot more than you.
Probably.
But, looking at my list, but there's something that's pissing me off currently is oversaturation.
Okay.
So, say you've been in the business for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
You've done your gimmick, you've done your time.
Yeah.
They weren't going to... Creative has nothing for you.
Yeah.
But we wish you the best in your future endeavours.
Yeah.
So then you've gone, well, I'm a bit pissed off about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a podcast.
Yeah. You're leaning towards the Ryback podcast, I'm guessing.
Ryback, Aldo Rose. Adam Rose.
He has a podcast?
Yes, apparently.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But not only that, but just like, it's this thing of like, fair enough, like Austin started it.
Yeah.
Essentially. And Austins are quite entertaining.
Yeah.
On most of them. When it's like it's someone I know or something I'm sort of wanting to listen to rather than talking to like, I'm talking to a Navy SEAL about my knife.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's one like Teddy Fowler stuff I like, and he did like a Q&A one. He's talking about like the Hell in a Cell and some of his prior history, like if his theme was different and stuff.
Right.
If the pile driver didn't happen, would he change his style and stuff? But it's like Ryback, he set it up because he was pissed off at the business. Or pissed off at the WWE. Same with Adam Rose. Like, I'm going to talk about things in the business, but then the problem is with that, as well as like Colt Cabana started it as well, I guess.
Yeah.
But then you have like Flair did one. Well, Flair has one. Jericho has one. Jim Ross has one. Ric Flair has one.
Roddy Piper had one.
Roddy Piper had one, yeah. And the thing we both noticed from the get-go when like Austin started getting guests on, he's like, oh, my guest this week is Jim Ross. Following week, Jim Ross is, my guest this week is Steve Austin. It's like, but you were just a guest on his a week ago.
Yeah.
How is this going to be any different?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not.
Yeah. Well, you've answered your own question there, really, because the problem is these guys feels like they need a platform.
They need a
and
platform.
Somebody gives them one is the problem.
Yeah.
Like Stone Cold Steve Austin did start with the podcasting thing, and for a while it was very entertaining, and because every show was different, and then he started doing 2 shows a week. Fine, I understand you want one because it was a request. Essentially, somebody said, "Look, I want my kids to be able to listen to what you're saying, and if you're swearing a lot, I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So would you do a family-friendly one?" He said, "Yeah." But it was all of a sudden because that had found some success, everybody tries and jumps on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was Jericho's which was next, and then it was Jim Ross, and then it was Roddy Piper, and now you've got Flair, you've got Ryback, Adam Rhodes, Jim Cornette's got one, Vince Russo's got one, and they do just end up talking to each other.
Yeah.
And this is why I stopped listening to wrestlers wrestling podcasts, because I'd sit there and I'd listen to Stone Cold Steve Austin talk to Paul Heyman, and then a week later I'd be listening to Jim Ross talk to Paul Heyman about the same thing that Stone Cold Steve Austin just spoke to him about. So I'm listening to the same conversation twice. Or I'd be listening to Stone Cold Steve Austin talk to Colt Cabana, and then a week later on Colt Cabana's podcast I'd be listening to Colt Cabana talk to Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'd be like, well, I've already listened to one of these shows. Yeah. So I know exactly what's going to happen. I know exactly what you're going to say. Or I'd be listening, like the problem I had with Stone Cold Steve Austin doing 2 shows is because he started to do a lot of the Q&A stuff, and one guy would be like, oh, WrestleMania 17 was that was a really bad decision, did it cost you a lot of money? And they'd go like, oh yeah it did. And then a week later he'd have a question and he'd be like, oh, WrestleMania 17, did that cost you a lot of money? And he'd just be like, yeah, did you not listen to the last show? Yeah. And it was like,
well, I explained it on the last show, but I'll explain it again.
Yeah.
You probably didn't listen.
Yeah. And it was like, either the people, like you say, either the people aren't listening or asking the questions, or they're that thick they can't think of anything else to ask. Yeah. So they ask the same question over and over again. And no offense, America, your IQ ain't that great. Fucking Donald Trump, come on, people. Yeah. You just end up with the same questions being asked to the same people over and over again, and it's boring. Yeah. So you lose interest. Oh, Ryback's pissed off at the business. I couldn't care less. He was fucking shit. Yeah. Did he do anything? No. Was he ever over? No. Why am I listening to this guy? Yeah. Adam Rhodes even worse. His gimmick lasted like a week. Yeah. And everybody thought he was going to get the bunny was going to turn on him. Who cares?
But it's that thing though of like once you've left and say these guys start like podcasts, it's like they can only talk to like WWE guys. Yeah. I think Jericho is the sort of like standout of that because he's contracted. Or whatever. Yeah. Like, he has like Kevin Owens on. Yeah. But I think that's possibly like in kayfabe, possibly.
Right, yeah.
He's like, my friend Kevin Owens on the show, sort of thing. But it's like, it could be like Vince Russo goes on Austin's podcast. Yeah. Talking about, oh, this week's Raw, this happened, and they've done this with Roman Reigns, and then he goes on to like Jim Ross's podcast, talks about the same thing. Yeah, I watched it this week, but didn't think that was like great. Roman Reigns did this, shouldn't have done this and that, and it's like, ugh.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do stuff like that, get them all in a room, yeah? All these people who and then have them sit there and review the big pay-per-views. I'm not saying I'm going to listen to it, but they can sit there and I bet the conversation would actually be quite interesting about their opinions on what they should do with certain wrestlers and how they're going about it and why they think it's wrong and stuff like that. That might be interesting.
But it'd work better for me if they just sort of spaced it out. So it's like, right, we've got Vince Russo on Steve Austin's this week.
Mm-hmm.
In 3 months' time, Austin's going to go on his.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But to have him on 1 week and the following week, I'm going to be on his. Go and listen to that one.
Yeah.
No, you're all right.
Well, it's the same with chat shows back in the 90s. I was saying 90s. Yeah, everybody had a chat show. Yeah. And I'd be a chat show host, interviewing a chat show host, and then a week later, I'd be on that chat show host's chat show, talking about my chat show. And it was like, you just end up with the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
And it becomes boring. It becomes tedious. So I don't... The only wrestling podcasts I listen to the AE podcast, the OSW podcast, and our podcast. In terms of wrestling. The reason why I listen to the OSW podcast and the Attitude Era podcast are because they are talking about something I enjoyed as a kid. Yeah. Or something I'm interested in learning about. And like they have the odd little like tidbit thrown in that you wouldn't remember from back then. But they have a chemistry that's entertaining. Whereas like Jim Ross whining and complaining because he got fired and then complaining because a 10 punch exposes the business. No, it's not for me. Not interested.
But I switched off from Jim Ross's when I was listening to one, and it was it was an hour and a half show.
Yeah. The
first half an hour is nothing but adverts.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
Well, he's like, brief bit of football, and it's like, oh, I've got to cover my sponsors here. Doing adverts. Bit more on our guests this week. Oh, here's some more adverts. Bit more football. Here's another advert. Right, now time for our guests. It's like, that's just half an hour gone. For them to chat for like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then spend the last 10 minutes wrapping up and doing like more sponsors. It's like, pull the trigger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, that's something else with podcasts is people, when they start having to have advertisements, people start to turn off. And it's like a catch-22. You can either have listeners or you can have adverts. And it's whatever's going to make you the most money. Jim Ross must make money because of the adverts. You know, I know Steve Austin does a bit with his, or at least when I used to listen to it, he had like a little bit about his sponsors. But it was always at the end of the show. And by which point, I'm turning it off anyway. Because he's told me it's the end of the show. So I'm going to turn it off. Yeah. Yeah.
I noticed like with Austin, there's sometimes like 5 minutes left. He's like, come up to the end of the show. But before I go, I want to thank my sponsors. Thank you for listening, all this. And then it's like, right, so listen back to it, let's do it more. It's like, just on the Steve Austin show. It's like, well, Mark has played. Bye.
Yeah.
It's like, I know the problem with advert sponsorship is like they get paid for it, so it can cover fee. Like, no doubt their producer and stuff have to charge a fee.
Yeah.
And things like that. So it's like if this gets bigger, I'll probably start using and bringing adverts in to make money off it to cover expenses.
Yeah. But again, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like a lot of in fact, I'm trying to think, all of the podcasts I listen to, except one, doesn't have adverts. And the one that I listen to that I say that I'm not including, it doesn't have adverts because it's off the TV anyway. So, but yeah, it's like I say, there's too many, and if it was up to me, you'd stick them all in a room and they'd do one thing, do one podcast each month, and talk about the business currently. And if they want to sit and do a Q&A, do it every now and again. But like, part of the reason why I stopped listening to Steve Austin podcasts was like, I don't really have any guests, I don't really have anyone to talk to, so I'm just looking out the window and it looks kind of grey out. I'm going to phone Teddy because I'm bored. Teddy! Slept with any hookers recently?
We start thinking like, what is it? Teddy's not on Skype, but I'm sitting here with Hershey the Wonder Dog, and I've got a margarita in my hand.
Yeah.
Kristen's away on business somewhere.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, I'm going to tell you about like my day. It's not even like he's telling us about something that's happened on set.
Got up, did a workout, did some work.
Yeah, I'm benching about 350
made some
now.
Ed Whites or whatever. It's cut the weight in about 250, 255.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that one where I was telling you last month, mate. He's like, he went to a clock factory to make like a neon clock.
Yeah.
And he's walking around the factory with the guy who makes them, asking him how they're made and stuff like that, because all he wants to make one himself.
I say, this is a wrestling podcast, folks. You know, that's not. You know, they're not talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
He's talking about how to make a clock.
Yeah. The look on Bunkell's face now is just...
It's pure unbelief. It's, you know, but, and I'm not slating Stone Cold Steve Austin because I love the guy, but yeah, I can't listen to his podcast anymore. I can't do it to myself.
Oh dear. Following on from that, I've got storylines that went too far.
So do you mean that they had an ending and then they decided to drag them out for another month? Or do you mean like ones that were like...
Ones that are like, ooh.
Like the Eddie Guerrero trying to get custody of Rey Mysterio's son.
Yes.
Before, of course, the tragedy happened and then Rey Mysterio got his push.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Like Snitsky punting the baby. It wasn't my fault. That's one. Yeah. Anything like that with you know, like miscarriages and shit. No.
Katie Vick.
Yeah. Katie Vick, another one. Necrophilia. Yeah, that's something we can joke about.
Yeah.
There was one back in the day. Was it DX? Randomly had this girl back in their room or something like that, and they made it seem like they raped her, but she's fine with it because they're DX.
Possibly.
And just kind of kicked her out.
Is it the one where they're doing the press conference thing?
Oh,
He's like, oh no, that was he's him hit the playing a game or something. I remember something briefly about that, but I can't remember it.
Yeah.
The one that stands out from there is like Pillman's got a gun.
Yeah, you mean when Austin tries to break into his house?
When Austin does break into his house.
Well, yeah.
But the fact he's sat there looking paranoid as fuck, holding the gun like proper close to his chest.
Yeah.
It's like, so why have you let cameras into your home, Brian? Like, how did the camera guy get in? It's like, oh, you're waiting for Stone Cold to turn up. He's like, yeah. But he's not going to get in, though.
Fucking retarded. But, yeah, storylines like that, like, it's not necessary. Like, they did... I remember the miscarriage angle with Terry Runnels and D-Lo and whoever Terry Runnels' partner was in PMS.
Jackie.
Might have been. But basically, they blamed D-Lo for her losing the baby anyway. It says that she was never pregnant in the first place.
Yeah.
But they blamed D-Lo, and this is apparently supposed to get D-Lo over and get him a push. Because he caused her to have a miscarriage, he had to accept them both as his managers.
Right.
That's the storyline. That's the story. That's it.
Who books this shit? Oh wait, I can see a text coming through now. Fuck this company.
Probably D-Lo who booked it. But again, as far as like storylines have gone too far, family should never really be brought into it.
Yeah.
McMahon's done it all through his fucking career. You know, like having Stephanie fucking get married to Triple H, passed out in a car, and all that shit. Yeah. Now, I understand you're pissed off that Shawn Michaels fucked her. Was it Shawn Michaels?
Randy Savage, I think.
Randy Savage. One of the two. Yeah.
Well, they played house with the original rumour I heard that read online somewhere.
Oh, right. I could have sworn it were Michaels and that's why he was pissed off. Or did he give a Coke or something?
No, that was Raven and Shane, possibly.
Oh, I don't know. But anyway, family doesn't need to be brought into it. Babies don't need to be brought into it. The Snicks keep pointing the baby thing, like because he caused Lita's miscarriage from Kane's baby, which says something about how the storyline started. Yeah. How that was supposed to be this guy's big break and get him over. Now, the claiming it wasn't your fault, fine, but then punting a doll,
yeah,
a child doll, randomly backstage or wherever it was.
It was on like the main on the floor.
Yeah, right. Well, there you go. Seriously. Not only who books the shit, but I'm surprised he didn't lose TV revenue.
Yeah.
And, like, it didn't have networks going ballistic. Like, we had, they had, back in the Attitude Era, they had the whole, like, parents kicking off and them having to do, like, and then they brought out the right to censor gimmick to try and play it up. But, seriously? Like, that must have been 10 years after the Attitude Era and they were still doing it.
2005, 2006, I think it was.
No.
Maybe 2007 at a push.
Yeah, but still, why? What makes you think that that's something people want to see or people want to think has happened? It's giving wrestling a bad name. It's giving your company a bad name. The whole Katie Vick rape angle, well, dead body rape, necrophilia angle. Really? Triple H thought the shit up. He must have done.
Well, he was involved in it.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. But what does that say about Triple H? You're one fucked up man. Seriously.
Do you not remember hearing that story? I think it's on like the McMahon family DVD.
Right.
It's like when Stephanie was pregnant with her first kid and Vince pitched the angle that it'd be his.
That's why wrestling's fucked up.
She turned it down, of course.
Oh,
but
I'm glad she fucking did.
He pitched the angle to her.
That would have been fucking disgusting.
Yeah. I think if it did happen, it was like they would have just sort of sunk and never recovered.
Yeah. There was no way that business would come back from that. The business was looking to come back from the whole I'm selling my business to Donald Trump shit. Because in one fucking day, did they lose like 100 points on the stock market or something daft? It fucking fell through the floor.
It'll probably sink again, no doubt, come November.
Why, what happens in November?
It's elections, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. But that shouldn't affect the WWE's pricing on the stock market. But, yeah, the fact that it fell so fast, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So his company went from being worth like $1 billion to being worth like a couple $100 million in one fucking day.
The other story that stands out to me again is from like the Spoonie Magfest panel.
Yeah.
Was where Edge kidnaps Paul Bearer.
Oh, yeah. Is this the one where he encases him in concrete or pushes him out into a road?
The Dudleys encased him in concrete.
Right.
Because that was the whole like Dudleys and Undertaker angle thing. But this is where he kidnaps him and then somehow takes him over to England, brings him over to England because they had a raw taping in England.
Okay.
So somehow he's managed to get him like the Spoonie thing. He's managed to get him on a plane over to the UK. Like
gagged and in a wheelchair.
Customs haven't stopped him. But then it's like they're saying Kane or whatever is like trying to constantly go after him. He's like Edge is on Titantron, like, come and get him, Kane, come and get him.
Yeah.
And he said like something happens, like he'll be down in a wheelchair and like a truck will hit him. It's like it turns out to be a doll. But there's a bit where like, they push him over at the side of a bridge.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we'll save you, Paul. And he goes over the bridge and then he looks over and he goes, oh. He's like, Paul Heyman's dead. Paul Bearer's dead even. It's like
fucking stupid.
Yeah. It's more the fact they somehow got him like, over to the UK. It's like still kidnapped somehow.
Yeah. Fucking stupid.
Like, did we not warn international customs this could happen?
Well, hello, my name is David Hughes and I'm one half of Mooch TV, along with Chris Cassidy, a young aspiring actor and writer, now stuck with me, talking dribble every week on YouTube. You like interviews with such stars as Paul McCartney and Britney Spears? They're not on this show, but never mind, we'll do our own thing, talking to local stars, and also film reviews and food reviews, and anything else that cheers us up. So please, look for Mooch TV on your YouTube box. Mooch TV, the programme to watch when there's nothing else on the telly. Pit pit, people.
And we're back.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Because your wife's here.
She is.
Sat in the background.
Yeah.
Trying to be quiet, eating a sandwich.
We'll no
Hi,
doubt.
Katie.
We'll no doubt get a passing comment at some point.
Of course. But then the problem is I can edit it out, so.
Very true.
I control this shit. I run this shit. Moving on, I bought you some DVDs.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I say bought them. There we go. So this is your homework now.
Yeah.
You and Katie. Pulling your face. So we've got you. I'll go through them in order. You got November 95, which looks alright from the card.
Who's on it?
Quite a few people.
What? Quite a few people. I'm not going to tell you any of the matches, but a few.
Steve Austin, Mackie Whipwreck. Steve Austin with hair, actually.
Fucking hell. That'll be interesting in itself. Actually, I think I've seen part of that match.
You probably have.
Oh, Too Cold Scorpio, he's on. He's quite good as well. Cactus Jack's in it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you got Heatwave 98, which has Masato Tanaka and Mike Awesome.
Which we both know is going to be amazing.
I think you've seen that one before.
I probably have seen
I think
that
I've shown you this show before.
I think I have seen the show.
Where they kill each other pretty much.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, unprotected chair shots all around.
Best way, mate. Then you got Anarchy Rules 99, which has Taz, Masato Tanaka, and Mike Awesome in a triple threat.
Jesus.
Which again, they're just going to kill each other. You got Remember 2000, which has Nova Chris Chetty, which is pretty good from what I remember. And you got Sandman Carino, Credible, and Jerry Lynn in a double jeopardy.
Alright.
Then you got the last one, which is Guilty as Charged 2001, which has Rob Van Dam, Jerry Lynn, which is bloody good.
Right, right.
So
I've not seen it.
loads of viewing hours for you there, Katie. We'll convert you yet, don't worry.
No, looking forward to it. Loads of stuff I haven't seen. But, again, I've not seen that much of ECW stuff, to be honest, which is kind of the idea behind starting to watch some of these. Yeah. After Coxie's binge the other day.
We don't talk about that.
But, no, I mean, it kind of came about because I was listening to the OSW podcast, actually.
Yeah.
And I think I've listened to every single episode now. But I only started listening to it like a month ago.
Isn't it like a few hundred, though?
Yeah. I've just gone back in time and started listening to them. So, but I listened to them in the like, because once they'd finished doing the Hulkamania era, the chronologically critiquing it, they started taking storylines and sets of shows. So, like, they did one for ECW, so they did their first ever pay-per-view. I just can't remember the name of it.
Battle Legal.
Yeah. So they did the first ever pay-per-view. Then they did the highest grossing ever pay-per-view, which is Heatwave 98.
Yeah.
Then they did...
I think I've got that one saved.
Then they did One Night Stand.
Yeah.
And then they did the first ever episode of ECW on Sci-Fi.
Oh dear. Lest we forget.
But yeah, it was. But I coming from listening to them shows. I was just like, I always like. Obviously, I've seen a few ECW pay-per-views and whatnot with yourself, but never actually followed the storylines and stuff like that, and a lot of them, like they were saying that they quite enjoyed some of the storylines and stuff, even though the matches might not necessarily be my style, the style that I enjoy. You're always going to have somebody like Lance Storm on there who works that kind of slow, technical style, so you're going to get something that you enjoy in each show.
Oh, yeah.
You know, as long as I don't have to watch too many Rey Mysterio matches, I'll be fine.
He buggered off in like 96, I think. So the one there is pretty good, obviously. It's all your flippy dippy stuff.
Yeah.
Psychosis.
Flip-de-doos.
Yeah. Flip-de-doo, bro. So yeah. Following from that, we've got your boy Noam.
Yeah.
He had his last indie appearance.
Before going and signing with the big leagues.
Yeah.
Well, like we said in the last show, I mean, congrats to him. He's come at like a perfect time for him, really, because even if he goes there, learns their way, and it doesn't work out for him, he's that young. He can come back, rebuild, like, you know, continue over here, and then rebuild himself and go back there again later on. So I mean, he's only in his early 20s.
23, I think.
You know, so he's got the time on his side. Is so it's so good for him to be there at this moment in time. There are people who've spent their whole lives and never got there.
Yeah.
And, you know, worked their asses off but never got there. You know, or if they do, they get there and, like, you know, they're reaching their late 30s and your time in this business is limited.
Yeah.
You know, so your time at the top's even more finite, so to speak. But it depends what they do with him. I noticed that, like, quite a few of the guys who are in the Cruiserweight tournament are now in the tag team tournament. The guy who won the Cruiserweight Classic,
TJ Perkins,
seems, well, I've heard mainly negative reviews, and I'm guessing a lot of people were pissed off because they didn't put it on Ibushi like everybody thought they would.
There was the thought of that, but then the problem was he doesn't want to sign full time with him. I think if he had done, he would have won it. Same with Zack Sabre. He didn't want to sign, or he hasn't signed yet.
Right.
So I think that TJ Perkins is willing to sign.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
and put the belt on him. Yeah. That's understandable, because I mean, you want to build a brand around somebody. You want to build like this division around someone. Then, if the guy isn't willing to commit to you, then why should you commit to them?
Yeah.
That makes complete sense. I don't know why they wouldn't want to sign, because I would guess they would make more money. But then again, I don't know. They spend a lot of time in Japan, and I know it's big over there.
It's big money in Japan.
Right.
But then you've got the freedom to work the dates you want and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's...
Yeah.
Well, you can work where and when you want and charge what you want.
Yeah.
And of course, you're always going to...
Yeah. Which, like I say, if you've got that freedom, it makes sense. Like you say, I know they make big money over in Japan, but if you're making big money and able to work whenever you want to work and able to do essentially whatever shows you want to do, then why would you give that up to go on the road with WWE every week?
Yeah.
Or more likely just get squirreled away down in Florida for the next year because you haven't done your time in NXT yet. It's like,
you have to learn to look at the hard camera.
Yeah, exactly. You have to learn to do it the WWE way, which, you know, for these guys, it's not. It's not to say it's not right, but it's taking somebody who's, you know, great at their craft and then saying, yeah, but you're not WWE style.
You have to do it our way.
Yeah, which, again, I don't think it's necessary.
Let's flip the dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. On to wrestling Rushmores. Who would be in your Rushmore or Mount Rushmore?
I see. This is a difficult one because I try and think about it as like it's like your mantelpiece.
Yeah.
And it's like So if I had like a mantelpiece, which was made out of marble or whatever, and I had to carve 4 wrestlers' faces into it, who would I carve into it? Mm-hmm. Or who would I have carved into it? Now, obvious number 1 for myself would be Kurt Angle.
Right.
You see, and this is, and like immediately I'm kind of like stuck with like a multitude of guys almost. Like I consider I'd probably put Stone Cold Steve Austin on there. I'd probably put The Rock on there, just because, again, they're both massively over. Both were, you know, kind of who I grew up watching, so to speak. Right. But again, then is that enough reason for me to put it on it? Should I put guys that meant more just to me personally on there, rather than the guys who are massively over? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if it was your Rushmore.
Well, how would you go about it? Who would be on yours?
Oh shit.
Foley's going to be one, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But then would you do the 4 faces of Foley and just have a Foley one? Because you could do Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love.
Oh, don't do this to me. Changing the game now, mate. I didn't think this far ahead. I'm like Cyrus and Conair. It's a route I'd possibly look at going down, but then it sort of only shows one level of a personality, sort of thing, or one level of my love of wrestling.
Yeah.
See, I don't thought this far ahead. Pressure on me now.
What?
Heel turn.
Heel turn?
Yeah.
Well, no, like obviously I love that technical style and whatnot. So I've got Kurt Angle on there for that. Who else have I enjoyed watching over the years? And, you know, it's like almost have I enjoyed more than, I don't know, like other people is kind of the way I go about it. Like when I first started watching TNA, I loved AJ Styles, and that was the reason why I tuned into TNA. So I could probably put AJ Styles on there, but then would I put Christopher Daniels on there instead, because it was the same reasons.
That match from 2005.
Yeah. Exactly. So
stop kicking me.
So, you know, it's kind of how you view what should be on there.
Yeah.
You could just go down the route of having great wrestlers or massively over wrestlers or something like that. Like I bet a lot of people have put Eddie Guerrero on there. But if you actually go back and watch Eddie Guerrero matches, Eddie Guerrero has the same match pretty much every week. Week in, week out, it's the same match with the same spots, because there's the spots that he likes to do and the spots that work for him. And it makes sense, because you should have a moveset that you should stick to.
Yeah.
But if I'm watching...
I'm sure there's been covered with Flair in the last one.
Yeah.
It's like the same, like, you know, climb a turnbuckle and all of a sudden thrown off.
Yeah.
And,
or he'll do the whip into the turnbuckle and he'll do the up and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But, so, I'm thinking, in terms of my Mount Rushmore, Kurt Angle, The Miz, from his WWE title run, Michael Cole.
Really?
What? From the whole heel Michael Cole angle. Shoelace.
God. He wasn't shoelace then.
I'm undefeated at WrestleMania.
Leader of the coal miners.
Yeah, in the coal mine. The coal mine was amazing. But, so that leaves me with one spot.
Pick one of you boys.
See, you could
You
put,
stay with the boys.
I could put someone from the Stable of Boys on there.
You put James Ellsworth in there, Katie says she'll divorce you.
No, I wouldn't put
Roll in
James
her
Ellsworth
eyes.
on there. I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody who has always stood out and like something that I've always like enjoyed as like a character or whatnot. Because obviously, like Kurt Angle, it's for the wrestling. Miz, it was for the character. Well, Miz, I suppose it was the character. It was like it was the promos and the whole "I'm awesome" thing, and you know, which he's kind of gone back to now, which is cool. And then Michael Cole, because it was hilarious. It was brilliant. I'm sorry, it just was. Just shitting on every show, on every match. And yeah, I suppose I'll probably go AJ Styles then. Is my last one. Not that I've watched any of his WWE run.
Yeah.
Not seen any of it. Just based on the early days in TNA, when I first put TNA on, because I didn't know what it was. Was it back on the Wrestling Channel?
Yes.
It was on the Wrestling Channel. Didn't know what it was, never watched it. Just stuck it on and was like, right, see what this is about.
And they were showing old Ring of Honor on there as well.
Yeah. And yeah, it just suppose is just like his character kind of caught my eye. I know he was being pushed towards the title at that time. He might have even been the champion TNA. Unfortunately, feuding with Jeff Jarrett. But yeah, I suppose I'd right now at this moment in time, that's kind of what I'd go with. But it might change next week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's part of the problem with having a wrestling one, because you're going to have certain people who stay almost set in stone, and then it's going to change.
Yeah.
So go on then, who's on yours?
Well, I've just got to go for like one of the incarnations of Foley.
So which one was your favourite?
Probably Cactus Jack.
Really?
Yeah.
I just thought Dude Love would be all that, because it was just different. So different to the other characters.
No, but I like the hardcore style.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Austin, mate? No, Rock. I'd go with the Rock.
You're with the Rock over Austin?
Yeah.
Ah, fair enough.
Sold my soul. But let's say you throw a commentator in, I'd probably have to go with Jim Ross. But I issued here with Jim Ross.
Yeah.
When it was
good.
Yeah.
Before, yeah. The thing is, Jim Ross is probably the most polarising one. Lawler, everybody knows is bad and has always been bad. Doesn't show up with any notes, doesn't really care. I thought you'd put Joey Styles ahead of Jim Ross.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, Joey Styles.
You put Joey Styles ahead of him. Joey Styles on his own in ECW was always great.
To go for someone current, probably Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, right. So. Again, I've not seen any of the NXT stuff recently. Yeah. But I've heard good things. He was feuding with Joe.
Yeah.
So I assume he's going to go over Joe at the next pay-per-view, and then Joe will end up on Smackdown.
Probably. Probably Smackdown knowing Joe.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Who are your Rushmores?
No, that'd be interesting. Yeah.
Let us know. The problem is, it's part of the debate going, you can't have them in there. It's like, well, you can.
You can have whoever you want on it.
Yeah.
Like, I was tempted to say something like Steve Blackman. Because Steve Blackman, back in the day, though he never did anything, yeah, Steve Blackman's a boy. Because Steve Blackman never held a world title or anything like that. But
stay with the boys.
His style was so different to everybody else's. Yeah, Ken Shamrock, he could be on there.
Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman, boy. Just a thought.
Surprised you didn't have Kevin Nash in.
Kevin Nash for commentary. Kevin Nash is my commentator.
Yeah. A man who cannot touch another man.
I could have done, but they only last for like 2 nights.
I think it's one. It was like an episode of Thunder. Right. On to the good stuff now.
Match
We've got
reviews.
some match reviews / breakdowns.
Right. Which one are we doing first?
Well, I wrote, because I thought chronologically, I did
Okay.
Triple H Foley first.
Right, okay. So, these matches were based on what we discussed in the last podcast, where everybody says that or at least Foley and the WWE say that the best hardcore match ever was the Edge Foley match from WrestleMania
How
22.
wrong he is.
And, yeah, how wrong they are. Right, so, Trips and Cactus Jack. I have my, 10 pages of notes.
I got 2.5 for this one. But it's literally just calling it play-by-play.
Yeah, a lot of what I've got is play-by-play.
So.
Did you want to discuss the promo video first?
Well, there's the build-up first.
Yeah.
Because there's the bit, because I've got the Mick Foley DVDs, the Cheap Pop, Hard Knocks Cheap Pops one.
All right, yeah.
And he's talking about the build-up to this match.
Right.
But it's on the Smackdown. And it's
Right.
he got beaten as Mankind on Raw.
Yeah.
Left bloodied and that.
Yeah.
Comes out in the same shirt.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Mankind can't beat you.
Yeah.
Dude Love's not got a chance.
Yeah.
But this guy has. I think you know him. Takes
Yeah.
the mask off, shirt open. But it's that thing of like, he's saying on it, he's like, at that point, Trips could have just gone,
Yeah.
whatever, mate.
Yeah.
But he saw the look of shock and stuff like, he's like,
Yeah.
because Cactus Jack beat him in 97 on an episode of Raw.
Right, okay.
That was when the three of them were Titantron at the same time,
Right.
which is quite funny. And then I watched the start of the pay-per-view because it has the build-up.
Like the promo video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's showing stuff from Cactus Jack in Japan.
Yeah.
And then it shows the bits from Raw 97 intertwined back and forth between that. Saying why they showed the street fight and stuff.
Yeah. I'll say, I think that's kind of what I saw, though. I saw the one that was just before the match.
Yeah.
So it didn't show that much of his stuff in Japan. It did, show a couple of things, almost paying homage to it, so to speak. But I thought that was a really good idea. Actually, it was quite well done, because one of the things that I got from it is that Foley wasn't really being considered a threat.
Yeah.
And they fired him, and then there was they had the daft, fake Mankind on and stuff like that. But then, they had to still make him seem legit, and like he was actually a threat to Triple H, which is with the whole reveal of the shirt and the Cactus Jack thing, harking back to the days from when he did the death matches and all that stuff in Japan and whatnot. And it was actually you forget that Mick Foley can just take pain and dish it back out, type of thing. You almost forget what he's like. So I thought it did a really good job of building him up. Because I thought that was something that they really kind of needed to do.
I remember it had me thinking he could actually win it.
Yeah.
Because it was the first one they had on Channel 4, which I didn't have to watch because we had school the following day, so I taped it. I set the time on the VCR.
Well, the other thing is, even just as the opening to the match, before it even starts, when Triple H sends Stephanie back to the back, makes it seem legit. He's actually well, no, you can't be out here because this could end up going not my way, type of thing. So that was really good.
So, yeah, I've got the start of the match. So there's the same bit in this, where they're having a little back and forth chat.
Yeah.
And in the DVD, Mick Foley saying he's talking about it, he's like, oh yeah, I think at this point I was saying he had a very nice cologne on. I was asking him what it was and where he could get it from. I was like, pulling back the curtain a bit there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, back and forth to start. I just wrote.
I put brawl to the outside almost immediately.
Yeah. Well, I put back and forth to start, loads of punches and then neck breaker on the outside.
Yeah.
Because it was the swinging neck breaker.
Yeah.
But then it also shows you the padding on the outside. So then it gets the actual entrance right there. No padding there.
No.
Going back in the ring, got the rope and leg drop.
Yeah.
Which Triple H sold pretty well. I put good selling by Triple H. Followed up by a bell shot.
Yeah.
Just a clunk.
Yeah, unprotected bell shot, unprotected chair shots to follow.
Full force chair shot, leg drop with chair, 2 count.
Yeah.
Few kicks, trips to the outside. Trips go down the barricade, fights through the crowd, leads to unpadded entranceway.
Oh, I see. I got some from the commentary here where the King was trying to big up the mean streets of Greenwich, where Triple H is from, probably the meanest street in Greenwich. And I pissed myself.
There's I noticed though about the entranceway. There's literally 2 sets of stairs.
Yeah, because it's off to the side though, isn't it? As well, rather than being like where we expect it to be, it's off to like unlike the hard camera almost.
Yeah, it's a really weird setup though, MSG.
Yeah.
Then they did that SummerSlam 2002. They had the hard camera on the other side.
Right,
so you're looking at it from the entrance on the right rather than the left.
Right.
Which is really weird.
Yeah.
Pallet suplex, which is where he splits his leg open. It's pissing blood all up for the rest of the match.
Yeah. That was gross.
And then Ben, as I noticed, JR says, he's got a trash can right to the skull.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's his head, mate.
Yeah.
And I noted random piles of bricks.
Yeah. I noted a fan shouts Triple H, you pussy. Which kind of made it for me.
No, you screamed in laughter at the "You're a faggot, Rose."
Because that was brilliant. To be so clear.
Numerous punches by Foley, followed by the face full of dick on the stairs.
Yeah.
Cactus Jack goes looking for a weapon, pulls out Barbie.
Yeah.
I've
got some talking to do about that later.
Well, I've noted down. It's like he pulls Barbie out, but then it's like he's one of those. He's passed it on multiple times to different people in different companies, and it's like, really,
yeah.
Is there any need?
Well, you see, the thing that pissed me off most about this is the ref getting involved.
Yeah, I've noticed this later.
I've put barbed wire 2x4 back in the ring, ref involved. Why?
Well, I put have to try stopping use ... in a street fight.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind. But then Triple H uses it, doesn't try and stop Triple H from using it.
Yeah,
no interest in stopping Triple H, but wants to stop Mick Foley from using it. Stupid.
Well,
Earl Hebner, get off my screen.
I've got Trips gets the advantage. 2x4 to the nuts, double arm 2 count.
Yeah.
But then it's when it's like gives it to the Spanish announcer and put it away. And there's put it in between the tables, and it's like, where is it? Well, it's not there. You know, we've moved it out of the way. But here, have this fresh one, which is the rubber tip one.
Right. Oh, I don't know. I know he hits Hugo Sazinovic, is it?
Yeah.
And then the ref gets involved again.
If you look at it, the original one,
yeah,
the bit comes off the top of it.
Right.
Gets the fresh one. It's like.
Right.
Which is the rubber tip one they use in fractional grating and shit.
Right.
Because I wrote barbed wire bat swap for rubber tipped, ref bump, barbershop, running barbed wire elbow.
I put see, the only thing I noticed after the ref bump was it trips blades, and it's freaking gross.
Well, then it's a bit where he's sat on the apron.
And Foley does a karate chop.
I saw that.
I was like, what? Karate chop to the cut. Oh, you wouldn't think we actually like this match.
So I got Trips on the apron. There's a whole barbed wire on the forehead thing.
Oh yeah, the cheese grater.
But then loads of colour on Trips.
Yeah.
Goes to the power drive on the announce table, gets reversed.
Yeah, was that the one on the table?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first one.
Foley takes the bump, table doesn't break, just kind of cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded gross.
You see, notes Trips is like bleeding from the pallet suplex.
Yeah.
Because it's bad at this point. Then he attempts a pedigree, which gets reversed into a slingshot.
Yeah.
Followed by a bulldog onto the barbed wire.
Yeah.
But after that, I just put fuck ton of colour on Tripp show.
Is it on the right place?
Followed by a Cactus clothesline to the outside.
Right, yeah. I know where I am, yeah, it's fine.
But then he goes for the... He tries to do something that gets hip tossed to the steps, and you just see his knee bounce off it. It's like...
Yeah, yeah. And then they do the whole...
the flippy-do.
No, because he takes that bump into the steps.
Yeah.
And then...
He throws him over the steps.
Yeah, and then he does the throw, like, where Foley takes the steps to his knees.
Yeah.
I hate that
the flippy-do.
Yeah, that's just gross, though, that bump.
Trips carries on working the knee, barbed wire shot to the knee, brings out the cuffs.
Yeah.
Brings the steps in, but gets drop toe hold onto them.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I found funny was the side headbutt to the groin. And then started biting him.
Yeah, I've got the biting bit.
Noted chair to the back, Cactus to the outside, chair to the head, and then the rock of a chair in big capital letters.
Yeah, I got unprotected headshot. Gross. This is why he's cuffed up in it.
Yeah.
I hate that, because they did that the year before, didn't they, with The Rock?
Yes.
And nearly killed him.
Yeah.
It's just gross. But yeah, Rock shows up with a chair, random cop unlocks Foley. Where'd that cop come from? Nobody knows.
Cactus starts firing back, another announce table spot, this time pound drive, but there's no give. Goes for the bag of thumbtacks.
Yep.
Back body drop on the thumbtacks. Pedigree not onto the thumbtacks when he kicks out.
Yep.
Followed by pedigree on the tacks, 1, 2, 3. Done in 26:55.
Yep. I thought it was a good match. It is considered a classic. I'm inclined to agree with that thought. Again, it's... I don't think it's like the best match either of them I've ever had, but it did a good job of making Foley look like a legitimate threat. He takes far too many bumps. I think it's Foley's style, and that's why he does it. But I think I suppose Trips took almost as many bumps as he did in this fight, in this match. But it's all like everything Foley does. It's like that. He's the only one who runs into the steps like that with his knees, and it's just horrible. And they wonder why the man can't walk properly now. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good match. It was entertaining. I didn't find myself thinking about other things. So I don't know. What do you think?
It was a good match. It was as good as I remember it.
Yeah.
It's just watching it back then to watching it now, and it's like picking up on bits. It's like that's not the same battle as before.
Yeah, yeah. Like you're more exposed to the business now, aren't you?
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was good. I thought, I didn't think the commentary was bad. I think Foley takes too many unprotected chair shots, but he does in everything he does.
Yeah.
And it was a good main event.
Yeah.
A bit too much crowd brawling for me, but they wanted to, make it that hardcore-y, really. But no, yeah, I enjoyed it. It's up there. I'm not saying it's one of the best matches of all time, but it's up there.
It's up there. Well, then, other one is from WrestleMania 22, which is Edge and Foley.
The one-spot match. This I do have some talking to do.
Well, I've got my Edge facts first.
Oh, God.
Well, I say facts. He was a WrestleMania curtain jerker.
Yeah. World champion.
He was in the first 3 TLC matches, of course.
Yeah.
With his power-rated RKO.
Yeah.
But I wrote Spear, really. Won King of the Ring 2001. Kidnapped Paul Bearer.
Which we discussed before.
But then He was an 11-time world champion
Jesus.
in a really short amount of time.
Yeah.
5-time IC champ, 1-time US, 14-time tag team. He won the 2005 Rumble, and he was Money in the Bank 2005 winner.
Jesus. So this was like his big push year then?
Yeah. He was 14th Triple Crown and 7th Grand Slam.
Well...
Oh, and you had the Edgeheads.
Well, you see, I've got... from the promo, my opening line, Edge claims he's the most watched champ ever. Just lies. Because he only held the title for 3 bloody weeks. 3 weeks, his first reign.
3 weeks of ratings, mate.
No, it wasn't, no! Edge, the man who
Get
won.
Nielsen on it.
Nielsen on it.
Nielsen ratings, mate. They'll tell us. Just sort that shit out. Let's find my notes for that one. Over there, bro. I don't know why I just said that.
I don't.
No, I've got Edge and Foley from WrestleMania 20. I always think it's 24, but it's 22.
It's 22, yeah.
For starters, Joey Styles called Lita Edge's sinister sex bud.
Oh, let's see. I just have written down Lita's Baps. What? They're out.
They are out.
They're out all the way through the promo too.
They are.
I actually thought it was a good promo. And they did a good job of making Foley look a legitimate threat again, despite him having been retired for like ages.
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite good. They actually made Foley made him seem like he could win, which we know he can't. But
well, I noticed Foley looking a lot bigger, which comes into play later in the match.
I'll put that.
But then starts with the baseball bat, which gets dodged repeatedly.
Yeah.
Followed by rapid punching straight into a bulldog.
Yeah.
Tree of Woe and a cactus elbow.
Yeah. I put Joe Styles on commentary, Lita's Baps. Foley's known as Mickles. Yes. Mickles. How to make him seem even less threatening. And then I put that the opening exchange did nothing for either man, and it made Edge look weak.
That reminds me of I was watching Uncensored 99 before.
Oh yeah.
And it's Mikey Whipwreck's debut.
Right.
And Bobby Heenan's calling it anything but Mikey Whipdash. Mikey Whipdash. Mikey Fling Smash, I think, was one. And any name apart from Whipwreck.
Right.
Lita starts tossing in random baking trays.
Yeah, unprotected shots again.
Yeah, it's just, well, I'd say it's just a thin tray, but...
Well, it bends around his head.
Yeah, but I know the hurt. So.
Yeah. I put Joey comments on the dark flannel shirt, and instantly we can see the red flannel shirt underneath. Yeah. So your commentary of, Mick wearing a dark flannel shirt this time instead of the usual red, showing maybe a darker side. Yeah, no, bullshit, because I can see the red one underneath.
I just randomly put Spear.
Where did I get that? Oh, yeah, barbed wire spear spot. Awful.
Edges his shoulder in. And he's
Awful.
like, oh, look, I'm going to start stripping now.
Yeah, the thinnest piece of barbed wire you'll ever see. That had to be so perfectly placed for him to actually land the spear on it. Ridiculous. I thought that spot, properly, that's exposing the business.
Yeah.
To me.
Edge gets tied up in the ropes. I think Foley pulls out the barbed wire Barbie from under the steps.
But they call it Barbie, but it's a baseball bat with barbed wire on it, not a 2x4. So it's not the same.
Yeah, they call it Barbie, mate.
Yeah, no, but it's not the same. It's not Barbie. It's a 2x4 with barbed wire on it, not a baseball bat with barbed wire. Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
There you go. That was my rant about it. I was really pissed off.
Calm down, Bickles. Bunkels.
Nichols. Dear me.
Lita jumps up on Foley's back. Cactus clothesline with Lita on his back.
She takes a horrible bump on her ass. It sounded gross.
Cover on a 2 count.
Yeah.
Same swinging neck break on the floor.
Yeah.
Only gets 2 count again.
Hip toss into steps.
Hip toss into steps. But then, well, this before that, you've got the rapid fist looking for face full of dick. Which is then the hip toss into the hip toss counter and then thrown over the stairs.
Yeah. Foley, man.
Brings up the table, Edge goes for a dive, but Foley moves off. And I've just wrote table for some reason.
Oh,
Foley moves off table.
Yeah, is that not when they do the ramp spot and they like just like the the hair grab, throws his head into the ramp? It sounds gross.
This is when that's the next bit because they move towards the ramp.
Yeah,
and then he does like the whip. I call it the whip pull.
Yeah.
The hair pull back. It's
gross.
No.
Yeah, no, horrible.
2 count cover. Then Lita just pull out the lighter fluid.
Yeah, I put lighter fluid. Crowd is dead. I didn't think the crowd was into this match at all.
They probably weren't, but
I just thought it was quiet the whole time.
They were just waiting for that spot.
Yeah, well, like I'm just thinking, like in the Triple H match, the crowd was into it all the way through, and you could see it. And I know they brawled into the crowd, which made it slightly different.
Then you got it's a New York crowd, don't forget.
Yeah.
Well.
Whereas this crowd didn't seem fussed. They really didn't. And then I've got Foley blades. So light fluid.
I've got Spray's Edge. Foley starts firing back. Stump pull a pile driver. Random concerto attempt, but gets a DDT onto a tray.
Mm-hmm.
Barbie comes into play again. Bulldog on Barbie, and then Edge goes for the thumbtacks.
Yeah.
But gets belly backed into them.
I just wanted to point out that's Edge's first bump of this match.
In this match?
His first actual bump in this match.
Really? Because I thought he does not the net break on the outside.
Oh, sorry. I meant his first bump in ring in this match. 17 minutes into this match.
Okay, now. And it goes for... I got 40. It's 14:36 I've got.
I got it 17 minutes on my video.
Mm.
Maybe that included the promo at the beginning.
Possibly, because I watched it on the network.
Oh, did you? I watched it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
conflicting times.
I don't know.
I'm going to text through. Hold on. Footage company.
Probably my fault for like sticking that in there and not working out the time properly.
That's fine. Goes for the barbed wire with Socko on Lita.
That was good. That I did enjoy that bit because it was something different.
Attacking a woman.
No, he attacks Edge with it as well.
Yeah.
But then Lita gets involved.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, got to deal with it.
Bitches be cray cray.
Yeah. Lita's baps.
Right, Bickles, calm down.
And I put Foley looks gross, and then Edge blades. Randomly.
I just put multiple Barbie shots on Edge. Elbow from Royal Rumble 2000 included.
Yeah.
So just like the barbed wire drop.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Colour shown on Foley. Foley eyeing up lighter fluid.
Yeah. I've got this is like the end.
I've then put Lita sprays table, lights the table, spear through table, and Edge calls cover 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But Edge is dead at this point. Somehow.
Yeah. I just put on it that like you can clearly see Mick looking for where the table is before they do the spear.
Right.
And the commentators say they can smell the burning flesh of Mick Foley. Mick Foley is wearing a full-on shirt with a t-shirt underneath it. There is no way that the flames touched his flesh.
Yeah.
So they just lied. Unless it was Edge's hair. In which case, woo!
Yeah.
But, yeah, the crowd weren't bothered until the table was on fire. They didn't seem that bothered about the whole match. There was very little wrestling in it, and Foley took most of the bumps.
Standard of a Foley, isn't it? There's like is it Backlash you have with Randy Orton?
Oh, I don't know.
Similar thing happens, I think.
Right. But I just put that. I probably wouldn't watch it again. And it's definitely not the best hardcore match of all time.
No, it's not.
It's not even close.
No.
It's... I wouldn't even say it was a mediocre hardcore match.
average.
Well,
that's giving it credit.
yeah, because I just think, like you say, it wasn't nearly back and forth enough, and like, you know, with Foley taking all the bumps, and you know, for all the offense, I suppose you could say Foley got in, I don't think any of it was really, you know, that. Well, I guess it wasn't really that damaging, or it didn't seem to be. It didn't seem like it was, you know, it didn't feel like he was going to win.
Mm-hmm.
But no. What did you think?
It was average. I'm not in a rush to watch it again.
No.
It's like if I was watching WrestleMania 22 now or next week, or even the next few months, I'd just skip over it.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't a good match.
No, it wasn't really. It was talked about a lot and people praised it.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why.
Yeah, looking back with hindsight, you wouldn't say that again.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Next one,
we've got Eddie G and Edge from 26th of September 2002. It's a no DQ match.
Like this.
Which is really weird because they had 2 matches at 2 pay-per-views and then having the blow off on the Smackdown.
Yeah, well, this is like the brand split thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like at the very beginning of it. I just put Edge heads, lies, Edge looks jacked for Edge.
Because I watched this on the network at the start of the show, like I was telling you before. It starts with an Unforgiven recap.
Yeah.
Eric Bischoff doing like the HLA stuff.
Yeah.
About Stephanie. And Stephanie's like, oh no, I've got something for you. And brings like this like heifer of a woman.
Right.
Apparently. And
Yeah.
then it's like meant to be HLA with Stephanie's woman. Turned out to be Rikishi in drag. But like done in like make like a mask on and stuff, so you wouldn't think it's Rikishi.
Yeah, yeah.
Gives like Eric Bischoff the massive stink face. Which I thought was a really weird way to start the show.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I guess it's them trying to show like somebody getting one up on Bischoff, who was obviously the Raw GM at the time.
Yeah, but yeah, it's no DQ. Now Eddie fired out to start with his random weird little forearms he does.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a random whistle or screaming of some woman that you can hear from the start.
Oh, I don't know. I've got Eddie chance.
Monkey flip by Edge after some back and forth. I just wrote technical and slingshot to the outside.
Yeah.
Back body drop and a drop kick. I should have noted more the commentary because the commentary was awful.
Yeah. Well, the commentary in it. I don't know. What pissed me off about it was they were trying to put Edge over because he's supposed to be the face in the feud. But I just think that they almost didn't go about it the right way. It was more of a, Eddie's really good, but Edge is really, really good too.
Mm.
Well, you're supposed to be making it out that he's better.
Yeah.
And that Eddie only wins because he can cheat, which is kind of the point. But again, I've just put, I've got Edge sets up a rest hold, 3 minutes 19 seconds in, and we get Eddie sucks chance as he gets the upper hand.
I've also got back body drop and a drop kick, more shots, and then an enziguri by Eddie. Random suplex and a cover ball gets a 2 count. Then throws in a chin lock and shouts random in Spanish, which Taz then decides to translate as, I've got you in a chin lock.
Yeah, I remember that commentary, yeah. I highly doubt that's what he said. But there you
go. Power slam by Edge. I think he only gets a 2 off that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Superplex by Eddie, and then somehow Eddie ends up on Edge's shoulders, gets hung up.
Yeah.
And over to the outside. Brings the ladder out, then Edge charging.
Yeah, and
takes the ref out.
Yeah, Edge takes out the ref, and the commentary says, Edge, the master of ladders. Really? I thought that they were the master of chairs. But there we go.
There's another text coming through. Yeah, same again, fuck this company.
Oh, see, I thought it'd say Matt freaking Hardy.
Chair at the back and the ribs, which was noted. Oh, chair at the back.
Yeah.
Spear, which gets covered during the break because he had a break halfway through.
Yeah, which was so stupid because that's supposed to be Edge's finisher, and he did it in the ad break.
Yeah. We'll show you a miss 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Goes for a frog splash, but Eddie misses.
Yep.
Starts firing back with shots.
Yeah. New ref.
I didn't know a new ref coming in.
Yeah.
Should have done.
They talk about it after the break. After the break, when Eddie's in control again.
Yeah. And
we get a new ref, and I put Eddie keeping the crowd in it by taunting is masterful. Well, I don't know if you noticed it while you were watching it, but pretty much every time that like Eddie would do a move or else, and he'd take, rather than going straight over doing another move, he'd take his time and like do something, say something to the crowd, or do like the rocking of the shoulders that he does, or something like that, and the crowd would instantly hate on him more. And I felt like he alone kept the crowd involved in the match and kept them wanting to hate him, because you get Eddie chants, and then you get immediately followed by Eddie sucks chants. So like you got the crowd split, kind of like you have with Let's Go Cena and Cena sucks. But I just felt that he was the only thing that kept them interested. There was no Edge chants at all. There was never anything to do with him. So
Edge is the average wrestler. He's the creator wrestler you used to make on that SmackDown 3.
Yeah, pretty much.
Eddie ends up on the back for a sleeper.
Yep.
Or rest hold.
Yep.
But gets reversed by Edge into the half Nelson Bulldog thingy.
Yep.
Then Frankenstein of Eddie only gets 2. But I've noted Eddie with snug shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somehow they end up on the top. I can't remember how. I've just wrote to the top holding Edge powerbomb reversal.
Yeah, which is
he's got the got his hand or whatever.
Yeah, I put gross bump on the counter powerbomb by Edge because Eddie lands on his head.
Ouch.
Yeah, it looks sick.
Edge brings the ladder in, but Eddie gets a drop kick. He puts Edge down.
Yeah, then goes and gets another ladder.
Yep.
Randomly.
European uppercut puts him down, and he gets sandwiched, and Eddie goes for the somersault tope.
The helo.
Thing. I don't know what it's called.
I don't know. I just know it's called the. I know it's called the helo.
Only that's a 2 off it, but then why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know. I put Edge kicks out at 2 7/8.
2 9/10, mate.
I don't know. I'm relatively specific. Ladder battle.
I've got sets up ladder. Eddie starts climbing, and Edge starts climbing.
Yeah, so we get the battle on top of the ladder.
Yeah. Edge's face meets top rung. Sunset flip powerbomb from the top,
which looks awesome.
2.
Pissed me off.
Edge against the lad in the corner. Eddie gets back body dropped, but gets dropped on his head.
Yeah, that was gross.
A bit grim.
Yep.
Lord of Aladdin himself on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
Both climbing.
Yep.
Shots fired by both. Execution from the top, which is still brutal to this day.
Yep.
Cover gets the win.
Yep, and the crowd goes mild.
That's my line.
It is your line, but I'm stealing it.
Bell end.
To put it simply, no one cared about Edge at all in this match. The crowd couldn't care. The commentators didn't really care. But Eddie Guerrero made people interested.
Well, I did put it reminds me of ECW in the way it's like.
Oh, like that the finish was like I didn't see the finish coming. I've seen that match, but I couldn't remember it. And I thought the finish was awesome. Like that. Well, it's like it's a DDT of some, but they call it the execution, don't they?
Yeah.
And off the top of the ladder was I didn't imagine that was coming, but as soon as I saw Eddie kind of step off the ladder onto the rope, I kind of had an idea something was going to happen.
Yeah.
But that match was good in spite of Edge, not because of Edge.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero could have put that match on with anybody, I think.
It reminded me of taking like an unknown guy though. That was
Yeah.
Whipwreck, and so put him against like Austin, and it got him over.
Yeah.
Like sort of thing got. So I think Eddie sort of went face with it, and it got Edge
Yeah.
that bit over.
Yeah.
But then I also put not because I remember.
You
I
are.
watched it when I was in high school.
Yeah.
The week on the Saturday when it was on
Yeah.
that week or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's a really good match. And I watched it now, it's like average. Not as good as I thought it was. Remembered it being.
I thought it was the best match of the three we watched. Considering it had no build and how much I hate Edge.
Yeah.
I think it's just I just thought it was the best match that I'd seen out of those three. I don't like the bumps Foley takes. I'm glad that he did it, because he earned a lot of money doing it and it made a lot of people think that, oh yeah, I can go into wrestling. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't agree with a lot of the bumps that he takes. And again, I thought his match with Edge was boring and really didn't do anything for me. Thought his match with Triple H was good, but again, maybe I'm thinking of something different. Maybe it wasn't as epic as I remember it being. But that match, considering it was on a Smackdown, I wouldn't expect that to see stuff like that week in, week out. They wouldn't do that nowadays. Then again, they wouldn't do half of the spots nowadays.
Yeah. I think that's the longest match on that show as well, because after that there's like Matt Hardy versus Undertaker, which is all like that on the on the timeline.
Yeah.
It's like you have like that gap for Edge and Eddie, and then there's like this little bit for Taker and Matt.
Yeah, so it's like a minute.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
So.
Well, yeah.
Anything you want to add before we wrap up? Because Katie's looking more and more furious.
My battery died on my phone.
Because the battery died on the phone.
See, happy now.
He's going to look through his photos, look through his messages.
No. Just play Tum Tum. I'm not even kidding. But no, like I say, I'd like to hear what people think about our match reviews, so to speak, and like how we've run through them. I'm looking forward to doing another one. I'm looking forward to doing like a whole show.
I think. Considering we're coming to sit on 3 hours again, mate.
Yeah, but I mean, as in like if we come with like an actual show to review.
Yeah.
If we do,
we will do at some point.
The review of a show, then everything that we go off on tangents about, I feel just feed into it.
Yeah.
Well,
the 8-hour epic podcast.
It's not. Well, it is quite long, isn't it? Really, 3 hours.
Yeah, but it's like I've said to people, like only about 2 people said it's too long. But that's where we went off that tangent on the first one, where it was we talked about education for 13 minutes and then jumped into wrestling.
Yeah.
But it's the whole thing I always said about podcasts is you can put it down, you can play it, pause it, and then go back to it later. Whatever. It's.
Well, no, I mean essentially, what I have to say is, obviously, comments. Greatly appreciated. I don't feedback, comments, whatever it may be. I don't like Edge. I never will. I don't understand why he held the title 11 times
in such a short period of time.
Yeah, but then again, it's probably because he was like, "Whoa, put it on John Cena. No, wait, put it on Edge. No, wait, put it back on Cena. No, wait, put it on Edge every month." And the only thing I will ever remember him for is getting latest maps on TV. And that's pretty much it. That's the best thing he did, and yeah.
Edge and Christian? Ooh, there's a look there from Katie. With a people's eyebrow as well.
Well, like I say, Edge and Christian was good, but Edge and Christian was made good by the other people taking the bumps.
Yeah. What about all the comedy stuff, though?
It wasn't that... The bits with Kurt Angle were good.
And the kazoo.
Yeah, I'm just not a...
You're not an
edgehead. An edgehead. No, I will never ever be described as an edgehead.
So you have a spare Edge t-shirt for us. Bunkell wears a like a large, so if you want to send him an Edge t-shirt, he'll gladly wear it for you.
Oh, right. But no, yeah, that's kind of my bit.
What's your bit?
Yeah. You got anything you want to say? Want to add?
I think I'm good. I've covered everything. Apart from like I did put in about the Flair TNA madness stuff, but I'll probably cover that on the next episode.
Elbow dropping your pants is the only way to go.
Well, it's more the chugging smearing off ice, but I'll cover that on the next episode.
Oh, you just got iced. Terrible.
Got iced and him being able to say and do what he wants because he says woo afterwards.
Yeah. But, okay, cover that next episode.
Yeah. Right, well, for the lost art of...
Kayfabe. Wrestling.
Such a dick. For the lost art of wrestling, I've been Coxie.
I've been Bunkell.
And this has been Taz, the dog. With the jingle. You can hear it. Jingle, Taz. There we go. Thank you very much.